Hi, I'm Brian Wiggins, and I am the Dungeon Master for Team X. In our most recent game that we streamed, we were discussing the creation of a non-player character. And during the course of creating this character, we used a term to describe how this character would be, and this term, turns out, we found out later, is a pejorative term for the Romani people. We used this word out of ignorance. We certainly did not use this word out of any kind of malice whatsoever. That being said, we do need to apologize. Ignorance is not an excuse. And we would like to try as best as we can to make this right. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to remove the video on demand from the Twitch channel. It will no longer be available. Any future versions of this episode, such as the YouTube version or the podcast version, will have these references edited out. We are also including links in the descriptions for both the YouTube video and for the podcast that will direct you to groups that fight against discrimination against the Romani people. Once again, all we can say is we're sorry. We're not going to say we're sorry if you were offended. That's not the point. We're sorry that we used this word out of ignorance. Now, if you actually did see this game live on Sunday and you heard us use that word and you were offended and you decide that you don't want to watch us anymore, we completely understand. And all we can do is apologize once more and do our best to show that we have nothing but love for all people. Thank you very much for your time, and please enjoy this episode. This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on the past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
Here we go!
And here we go. No, it's too late. It's too late.
I'm not ready. I need to find a button. I can't find the button.
Music's on.
Music. Oh, the music is still on. Damn it! I always thought that
Yeah.
it would turn itself off.
Well,
It does
Oh,
not.
there's a setting. It might be
Yeah.
in loop.
No, it's
Or are you
something
talking
else.
about the background music
Nah,
from
background
the
music.
Turn
Yeah,
Break
anyway,
period?
it's just me. I gotta move things around here, so I'll figure it out later. Anyway, hi, I am your carrier. I am your vector of technological leprosy, and this is Sunday, which means it's time to play Dorgans and/or Dragons. No, well, it is time for Team X, which is an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated. Excuse me. And I am St. Brian, otherwise known as Brian Wiggins. I am your Dungeon Master for this evening. And we have lots of things to get to today. We have a lot of old business to attend to, possibly some new business. But first, we need to introduce the players in today's game. So, starting where we always start every freaking time.
You're wondering why you said
I'm gonna
that.
deny it every single time. You
Because I've got video to back me up.
Fake news.
I can choose to disbelieve.
Someone
Hang on.
rolls Malkavian.
Hang on. Nope, no, you can't.
I disbelieve your feasible spell. How about that?
Anywho, starting where we always start, with the introductions of the players and characters.
I was gonna say y'all can keep arguing. I found 5 pounds of orange Starburst on Amazon.
Let me know when you find the red ones.
Say goodbye to
Every
your
day
villains.
we
they're
stride.
there too.
Every day we stride further from the light of God. You may now buy
Whatever.
5-pound increments of the worst Starburst flavor.
The
No, that's
orange-
yellow.
The
Yellow.
worst?
Yellow.
is the
No,
best.
no, no.
Yellow's the worst. Yellow's the
Yellow
worst.
is
No.
fantastic.
Red is the best.
Wait a minute. Are you
Red is shit,
Are you-
sir.
Are you a banana taffy person?
Oh, hell yes.
That explains
We
everything.
can't be friends.
This explains so much. Hang on. Wait a minute. He likes banana taffy,
Years of
so
friendship out the window.
boom, gone. He's no
No.
longer in the game. He's out. guys, we shall continue playing.
Nope.
He's gone.
I've already threatened to kill your character, so maybe you should just be a little bit nicer.
This is true. That's fine. I'll roll for
Also,
one of my
banana
relatives.
taffy actually tastes like something, so...
Yeah, and it's not banana.
Nothing good.
Wait, how are you implying that orange Starburst does not taste like orange?
Yeah, I am implying that exact thing.
Oh, actually, don't forget, he can't taste some stuff, or it's muted.
I know. I was just about to say we had this cinnamon discussion last time.
It
with
was
the
Snickerdoodle.
ginger
It was
snaps
not
or
cinnamon.
whatever.
It was
Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle.
Close enough.
Which I will still maintain
Yeah.
is...
Anyways, I'm Clues playing Dread My Gemweaver, who's going to consistently eat orange Starburst
Who has
in
very strong
like,
opinions
in front
about
of Pluton.
flavors, apparently. A puritanical
Moving
opinion, one might say. I
Banana
am...
Taffy is a devil.
I think Thunuk is next here.
He
That's
is.
what I thought. Hi, I'm Viking Goat. I play Thunic Jones Trunk, and honestly, strawberry or cherry Starburst.
Yep.
Come on.
Moving along.
I am apparently some form of heretic. And blind cleric, human fighter, and I feel ganged up on.
I feel attacked.
I feel scrutinized.
Hey,
I feel unloved.
Oh
Putting
no,
it all out there.
I'll love you. Nope.
No,
I
you
still
won't.
love
Your
you.
love will be tainted by this, by these feelings. You will say that you love me and still drag me away.
Wah, wah.
Stop that. No.
This is the family love.
I am so tired of that song. It was never good.
Hi. I'm Eno, the Tiefling Bard, and I will eat whatever Starburst you give me. I don't really care.
He's Starburst agnostic.
Yeah.
Listen, that's fair.
So, aside from this Starburst heresy / chicanery, wherever it falls on that spectrum, we have a game of Dungeons and Dragons to play. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? I mean, or did I sign up for the wrong stream?
You signed up for what you signed up for.
I know, and I'm regretting it with each passing week. So, you people have taken years off of my life. You have rounded off the corners of my sanity. It is, but let us talk about what happened with our protagonists. Where we are, let us lay our scene. So, a decision was made amongst the team to run some errands that would be outside of the immediate Chandlewood region. One of these errands would involve heading down to Candlekeep, if I remember correctly, for looking for books. But as we know, in order to get into Candlekeep and look at the books, you need to bring them a book they haven't seen yet, which I have to imagine with each passing group that comes in, that's got to get to be a harder and harder task, right? Like the very first people there were like, "Hey, yeah, I found this old book of Farside comics. Great, you're in. We haven't seen it before. Great." And now it's like, you know, however many centuries, millennia later, it's like, "Nah, we've seen that." "No, I've got Avengers like issue 1. Nah, sorry, we already got 2.
If there is no such thing as a printing press system on Toril, then all books are unique, unless, of course, someone went out to the trouble of making copies of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is that. They do talk about that, but it's more, I think, about the content, right? It's like, no, you can't just be like, "Oh, I have the first book about apples. Great, we're gonna take that. I too have a book of apples. Well, it's not really any different, you know. It's apples, you know." Oh no, but it's a first edition. Yeah, but it's a first edition of shit we don't want, you know. But there was also one of the errands. There was 2 other errands. One was an errand up in the Waterdeep region, for there was a need in Waterdeep, to do some additional research. There was things there, potential other travel vectors, contracts that have been arranged.
And the third potential place, or the third errand that needed to be run, was in the Red Larch area. Because apparently Team X, not this Team X, but a Team X, is somewhat responsible for some very odd and potentially destructive weather patterns, and unfortunately the C Team is not available to take care of them, so they needed to call in another franchise. And what better franchise than the one who allegedly did the things. So there is in order to make sure that Pinedale was being kept safe during its champions, for lack of a better term, while their champions would be not there, would be absent. Arrangements were made for Lorelissa and Quohand Fiedlerson to travel via Shadowgate, via gate to the to Pinedale to keep an eye on things, because they are competent, despite Quohand's inability to roll high on a 20-sided die. He is still good for Operation
He's
Meat Shield.
He's useful in such that he can take damage.
Yes, he is Operation Meat Shield. So you have that, and of course there's the spies. And I forget what the abbreviation stands for right now. I need to have like a whole
Sub-Proto-Intern 1.
Yeah, there you go. Intern level 1, the spies. There's other trainees that are coming through the program now, through the internship program. There's the guards that are much more competent and better trained, much better equipped than they were. So Pinedale is probably, for as much as it can be, in good hands. No worse than the ones they were previously in.
I think they're coming to take you away.
Hey.
Probably
Yeah.
They found out. They found out about my Twitch pre-roll ad plan, and that's the whole.
Kind of
So
you running, boy.
I gotta go. I'll be back.
To prison.
You'll never take me alive, Kappa. So the decision now in front of the group is that you have your gate, knowing that it would be weeks, if not months, to travel from Pinedale to pretty much anywhere up on the Sword Coast in the Lord's Alliance region, which is pretty much where you're heading. That would be probably a good 2 months journey, if you were to travel by normal means. However, as we know, Team X discovered a map many games ago that allowed them a certain degree of travel via Mystical Stargate, for lack of a better description, and they have the ability now. The challenge, Mr. Thunnock, Mr. Cartographer of the franchise, is that the further away you want to get to some place that you have not been before, it gets to be a little bit more challenging trying to suss out exactly which symbols you should be activating on the gate to properly triangulate where the exit will be. So the decision needs to be made as to where you're going, and then we will decide, or we will take measures to determine how good your cartography is.
Okay. Not thrilled with this, because I feel like maybe certain individuals who made up with some chicanery and made maps already may have figured out where Waterdeep was, but they didn't label them at all, did they?
The map I'm guessing you're speaking of is the one that you were able to pilfer from.
Yeah, the one we stole from that blackguard.
Yes. He's not a black guard. He is a blackguard.
Yeah, he's an anti-paladin.
Yeah, he's the anti-paladin. Would be better.
Yeah, I realize that is an old terminology that I have been using, and I want to.
Well, no. Blackguard is fine as one word, but it's not like. And again, he might be black, but it's not like we stole from that black guy over there. Like no.
We stole it from the anti-paladin, who is a bastard.
Says the whitest stream ever.
Yeah.
So. I don't think any of us can really be out in the sun for very long.
Speak for yourself. I brown like toast.
I'm golden and beautiful. Don't you ever forget it.
I got
I'm
stopped by
Irish
cops
and will
once.
turn into a lobster.
Lobster.
Moving
At any
forward.
rate,
Yes.
the most detailed information that you were able to glean from that map was, in fact, in like the Chandlewood and the Greater Chandlewood region, just because that's where they've been spending their time and efforts investigating these ley lines. You were able to see that yes, they do. These ley lines do travel further out and all over Faerun, but the further out they get, there's like less and less detail about it. So there's like you could see where Waterdeep is on the map. You could see where Baldur's Gate is on the map, where Neverwinter, like the major, the high points, right?
Yeah.
All the tourist spots. You're able to see them all on the like where they would be on a map, but you do know that the gates tend to be where there's ley line intersections, and this part of the map is starting to lack detail. So it would be now is where you have to start applying more of your cartography skills to kind of suss out. All right, I think I can work out where this is going to go, but it would be based on where you decide you need to go.
All right. I may have some difficulty playing Thunic because I've just played my other character for 2 days straight almost. And he is infinitely smarter and sneakier. So give me a few moments. Can't do all that because it's not him. All right. We are... where are we going? We took a whole bunch of jobs, but we never actually said which one we're doing first.
Do we even know? Because they were just told to Hugon, right?
No,
No,
you were all in the room.
We were
Yeah,
all
you're in
there.
the room. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
when Stephen told you everything, whether your character is paying attention or not, completely different story. But the information was there. Just out there to pick. Just out there for the picking.
What is the payment on each of these from highest to lowest?
If I remember correctly, let me pull up my notes. That was awkward. Okay. Hang on a second. They're in my notes, which apparently are not sitting right in front of me that I thought were. We said that there was going to be, I think the highest paying one was the Red Larch job. That was going to be 1,000 gold. And then obviously minus, here we go. Here we go. I got it now. Okay. So the contracts were, there is a need from a noble in Waterdeep who is pairing up with Acquisitions Incorporated home office in order to engage in a new culinary venture, specifically around the brewing of beers, and they were looking for some ingredients and some help with that. Actually, there was a specific book that they wanted to get from Candlekeep that had the information that they were looking for some rare brews. That one was going to pay 500 gold, but there was no information as to how you would actually get into Candlekeep, so they're pretty much leaving that up on you. There was the Red Larch job that pays 1,000 gold. Now, all of this is obviously before home office takes its cut. I mean, they have to, there's fees and various and sundry line items that need to be accounted for.
Right.
And then there was the more local deal, which was doing some investigation into some shady real estate deals in the region outside of the Chandlewood, pretty much in the lands that kind of lie between Chandlewood and the borders of Cormyr, to find out exactly how deep Zedram Kai's your as of right now imprisoned nemesis, part of his dealings, what could potentially be happening there. And there was that was going to be that was more of a ranged job depending on how much information was paid. That seems to be more at the behest of Omen himself.
All right, I'm just looking at a map for just a moment
Mm-hmm.
because what I want to do is so Chandlewood. Chandlewood is southeast of the Dragon Coast. Is that right? Do you have a map open?
I do. So,
Where? Because I know where Cormyr is. Cormyr is on the Sea of Fallen Stars.
Cormyr, you're
on
going to
the
go
western edge.
if you go south
Uh-huh.
of Cormyr and then start turning east, when you start getting towards the Shining Plains, you'll see in between the Fire Steep and the Merithwatch mountains.
Uh-huh.
That is where the Chandlewood lies.
All right. So we're kind of in the center of 3 other incredibly powerful kingdoms: Termish, Alm, and
Mhm.
Tethir, as
Mhm.
well as being in the mountains that are inhabited by a dragon. Okay. Well, just in order of proximity, we could go to the lands one first, and then I don't know where Candlekeep is, and I don't know where Red Larch is specifically on a map.
So Candlekeep is south of Baldur's Gate, right on the coast, just south of the Cloakwood.
So, if I recall correctly, Baldur's Gate is north of Waterdeep,
No, south.
south of Waterdeep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Waterdeep is pretty far north, and then you have
After Waterdeep, it goes up to like Luskan and Neverwinter, right? Or whatever it used
Waterdeep.
to be. Neverwinter.
Yeah, you're gonna go up that direction. But if you were to take the long road instead of staying along the Sword Coast and heading up to Neverwinter, and you were to bear right at the fork in the road, quite literally, and take the long road north, you would run into Red Larch. So if you're looking at a map, it's gonna be south of Tribor.
Okay. So, and Candlekeep is on the Sword Coast, south of Baldur's Gate.
Yes,
That's pretty far south.
it is.
Damn. Oh, okay.
It is west. It is west of the Wood of Sharp Teeth.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, well, my thought is that just based on proximity, we go do the property stuff. And because the Candlekeep is going to involve having to jump through a whole shitload of hoops just to get into, I would say that is a low priority. And then go north to Red Larch.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's just my thought.
Yeah, I mean, Candlekeep is like also has a personal, as an Eno has a sort of personal goal for that place, I believe.
Okay.
I
Fair.
think I'm looking for the book, The Shadowmancy and Recipes for All Occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm looking for that book at the Candlekeep. So
the name of the
so,
book
yeah.
was Vexing Themes of Shadowmancy and
Shadowmancy.
Recipes for All Occasions of Chandlewood Feasts.
right. So Eno sees Thunuk looking at the maps and stuff and poring over them, and says, "Well, why don't we go to Candlekeep and work our way north?"
That seems reasonable. We can always just walk if we can't find the rest of the way.
Or we could take a boat. It is on the coast, if I recall correctly.
I want to
Yeah.
go on a boat.
Yeah.
Will we all fit on a boat?
Yes.
They're
I
small.
mean, they make big boats.
They
You've
make
never
big
seen
boats?
a large boat.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they're big boats.
They make boats that are like hundreds and hundreds of feet long. Some of them even fly.
I like big boats and I cannot lie. Okay.
I would like to see the big boats.
So we will head westward then, handle the
Okay.
property business. Further westward to the coast to handle Candlekeep, or try to get into Candlekeep. I mean, they're librarians. How hard could it be? And then northward to Waterdeep. Is that what we're thinking?
Pretty much just kind of do up. We're gonna
How
have to time
far,
a lot.
Brian? Based on a
It's gonna
map,
be
are we? How due east are we from Candlekeep? Are we south by southeast, or what's our directional
More like
compass point?
more like east southeast.
East by southeast. Okay.
Yeah, and that's
So we would
it.
have to travel north, irrespective.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But
fine.
again, it depends. If you want to try to gate there, that's going to be a much quicker trip than if you try to drive there. In which case, you're talking several weeks worth of travel to get to Candlekeep.
Right. Well, given the proximity of gates that we have in the Chundlewood alone, and how close some of them may be to El Boulder and this property issue, we could gate to there, handle business, use the gate we took, gate further west to Candlekeep area, at least close by, reasonably close by, and then take a naval vessel northward. Does that sound reasonable to everybody? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's on Thunuk then.
Okay.
Well, this would be a
Uh,
much easier thing because you could either travel by, again, if you wanted to just do the 2 days travel out of the Chondawood to El Boulder, that's an option. Or if you wanted to gate there and just have it be done with, you'd have a much easier time getting there because that would fall within the detail of the map that you guys have pilfered.
Yeah, he's gonna try and figure out how to gate there.
Okay. So that would be a survival check.
Okay.
May I assist him to provide advantage using my perfect memorization of the El Boulder gates?
This is true because you did have your moment of
the probably one of the most useful natural 20s I've ever had. I memorized a map. Wow.
Well, I got a 21 total.
Roll it again. See what you get.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yes,
so
please.
assistance is advantage?
In this case, I would say yes.
Well, no, that was a better one.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you're able to figure out, okay, yep, this is exactly boop boop boop. You're able to punch in the numbers, punch in the symbols. Gate does the whole, the yeah, just opens up. You get the event horizon right inside the gate there, and now you're able to do your familiar. Excuse me, and then you're able to emerge, and this gate actually opens up pretty much out of a flat rock. So as you are emerging out of the gate, there is an enormous boulder that is easily twice as high as Thunuk. It's like 2 Thunuks high easily, because Thunuk is a standard unit of measurement.
Yeah. Of height and weight.
Wait, volume.
Mass. He is the scientific bog standard.
There's a how many Thunuks of land do you have? For acreage.
Many. Which, and by the way, is how far can Thunuk walk in a day? Just so everybody's aware.
That's pretty far.
Yeah.
Wow, we just invented a new.
That's why people measure in Thunuks for tax purposes.
I love this. So we get to play a game where we essentially get to make up new units of measurement. Excellent.
Sure. I mean, why not? Does the Acquisition Incorporated not indicate that we might create certain measurements and
then trademark them, and then you get to make,
trademark them?
and then Drenmai can start fabricating like the new tools, right? That measure, like how many microthonics is this?
Well, I mean, obviously every franchise is going to be different and be in a different market. It makes sense to allow them the leeway to create their own systems that most benefit them. Provided the house gets cut, no one really cares.
Eno can now start, playing songs in Thunuk over Thunuk time.
Precisely.
Okay.
Which is, if Thunuk holds his arms straight out and drops a stone, how long does it take to hit the ground?
How many different ways can we use a Thunuk to develop the different? We're gonna own all of the systems of measurement.
I get 3 rod's heads of the Thunuk. So
You could do the. You could. Do, I'm gonna pay for this. That'll be 3 Thunuks and change there. But anyway, but the gate opens, and when you emerge, there's this enormous 2 Thunuk high boulder that is on the edge of El Boulder. Like so, and you remember this place. This is right where you entered the Chondawood the very first time when you left El Boulder. And there's this enormous boulder. There's a river. You cross the river and you go into the Chondawood. And that is where you had initially started this whole wacky adventure over the last 2 years. And but this
portal comes out of the rock.
So well, the event horizon is pretty much like on the surface of the rock. And as you emerge, you can actually, because now you know what you're looking for, you can actually see the absolute faintest of symbols etched into the shape of a gate in this rock, in this enormous boulder. And you do know that this is the boulder that El Boulder gets its name from, in that many years ago, probably right when the first successful excursion into the Chondawood, the one that actually established Pinedale as a viable now town. This used to be called the Old Boulder, and just over the course of time,
Old Boulder, El Boulder.
El Boulder, it becomes the Elder Boulder to the Old Boulder to the El Boulder, and now that's how the town gets its name. So, but little did you know that this was the actual gate. This was
What a shame it has to be burnt to the ground.
The gate?
I'm sorry,
Did
wrong
you say
character.
that out loud?
No, wrong character.
Ears
Forgive
perk
me.
up, fire?
Wrong
Did you
character.
say that out loud?
No, heavens no.
Oh. Eno would like to do a perception check to see if there's any, see is there any creatures around here that look bad?
Perception
Do we
rolls
look-
have been banned from this game, so no.
Can I do a
That could-
investigation check to see if there are any insects nearby?
You can do.
That might be
I will.
poisonous.
I'll tell you what. Even though it's been formally eliminated from 6th edition, I will let you do the perception check.
Oh.
That's a 13.
So what you're seeing in front of you as you emerge is a grassy field. That is probably 40, 50 feet in various dimensions. So like 0.1 Thunuks as far as area. And there you see this town known as El Boulder that I don't believe have seen. I don't believe Eno has been to El Boulder as of yet.
I don't think so, no.
But it is a logging town that a lot of low buildings. Most buildings there 2 floors high. There's like maybe 1 or 2 that are 3 stories. Kind of a quaint little thing. But the rest of you do notice that there does appear to be more action there, more hustle and bustle than there was the last time you were there. The last time, which was when you first entered into Chondawood, it was a town that was suffering extraordinary economic hardship. They weren't able to log anymore. There was no trade going through there to get to Pinedale. A lot of people were just out of work, destitute, upset, just down in their luck. Now you're actually seeing it looks like some life has been restored to this town. You're seeing some evidence that the logging industry might be starting back up again. You're seeing more carts. You're able to see a couple of the spies that have been assigned for caravan transport. Because I'm sure that I'm gonna make an assumption here that Hugon was like, this policy of having only one ranger being able to guide people through the Chandlewood is a stupid idea. You shall now operate in twos. Because
For a nominal fee.
for
We'll
You wa-
guide you.
well, there's
It'll be
yeah.
so much simpler.
It's to cover expenses. You know, it's
Not to interrupt,
interrupt.
but does
away.
Hugon see any red armbands?
I'm so glad you asked. Why don't you do no, 6th edition rules, everything is animal handling, so animal handling check to see if there's
I'm gonna roll perception instead.
Wow.
He's just, I'm making up my own rules.
That's that big player energy.
Yeah, in 6th edition, the player can actually make up their own rules.
I can create rules and destroy rules
Yeah.
as
By
I
the
see
second.
fit. I have a 19.
A 19.
Yes,
There is nary a red band to be seen.
delightful.
Nary a red band to be seen. But yeah, the town is looking much better. Much better. Still not, I mean, it takes a while to make that kind of recovery when you've been down and out. You know, there are people that just left.
Mhm.
So, you know, the population, you know, there's people that are still trying to, like, you know, more. There's right now, there's that equilibrium hasn't been established yet. You know,
It may be required that we have some interns from the offices of information control roll in, and maybe add some branding and increase public awareness.
run a hiring fair.
Yeah.
Job
Information control is, it's key.
fair. The job fair where, like, you've got one guy there that's like looking to hire for actual logging purposes, and everyone else wants to recruit you to help sell insurance.
Now, I brought Buck.
Oh, of course.
Just want to point that out.
Cool.
Buck.
Good. We need
Yes.
Buck. Buck's good.
Buck is with you, as is Alexi, your friend, because he's part of this
Right.
whole thing. And immediately Hugon's scowling. He's like, "I did good." Oh wait, he's still
Mm.
here.
It's less
So
good.
I pull out the Waterdeep book and I show it to Lexi. I said, "Do you think they'll take this one to Candlekeep?" I think I asked this before, but
I don't
I
know.
don't think
We
I
can always
showed you the
ask
book.
them, but unless it's got something brand new, I don't think they'll have very much interest.
because I've also got this other book, and I show him like the book that had the Shadow Council information in it. I also got this book.
That might be a bit more interesting to them. But do we want them to
Okay.
have it, or do we still have need for it?
I mean, I've read it. I've read it. I've read it from cover to cover.
Have you committed it to memory?
I mean, some of it,
Hmm.
but
Well, we
Not all
have
of
some
it.
time. It'll take us a while to get there, so
all right.
decisions
So
that can be
I-
made at a later date.
Yeah.
Didn't we also have another certain person that's joining our party that Hugo?
Oh yes. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten that Savat Loren is no doubt.
Oh yeah, she's there too, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Sweet.
Yes,
Mhm.
there.
That's right.
mhm.
And
I-
she
I
is
tur-
furiously scribbling notes. Like, she's not even like looking
Yeah.
at the paper. She just
Hugon, I imagine, has taken like great pains to indicate to her that lots of talking is a distraction, and she must focus on her work. So
Savat,
to
do you have
talk
any?
as little as possible.
Savat, do you have any special books with you that might be of interest to the Candlekeep librarians?
I love books. I have so many different books. What kind of book do you think they might want? Oh my god, I have. Okay, I've got.
It has
I've got
to
one.
be-
I've got this one. That's about the we got one. That's the history of the Chandlewood. I've got the one that's about the expedition that went to Pinedale. I've got one about the.
Savat.
I've got the.
Savat.
But there's the one that I'm writing right now about Team Xetagog and about your histories and about your. It's like a biography, but it's about the history of the franchise as well. Oh my god, I have to interview all of you.
That sounds
so-
Savat
interesting.
Loren, please shut up.
But I asked her a question.
Right, and she's giving you as many answers as she needs to give you.
But don't worry about him. I was
Can I interview you later?
Yeah. All right. We'll
Okay.
talk later.
Thank you.
All right. So shall we then? You're in such a hurry.
Check out the
I am
sass on
very
Eno.
secretly
Please note Eno's sass for his quarterly report.
Noted.
I'm kidding.
It
Works
has
for-
been
it
noted.
Works for her. He points to Dread. Works for her.
She's in a little category of her own.
I'm
So
my
am
own
I.
category.
No,
As am I.
Category. All right.
And as you start making your way through the town, there are still some odd looks going in Thunuk's direction, and curious, borderline odd looks going in Eno's direction, depending on whether Eno has his hood up or not.
I've got it down.
He's like, nah, I know what I'm walking into.
I'm.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah. Horns up.
horns out.
He's throwing up the horns. So yeah, there's definitely some looks. There are some looks of curiosity. Tieflings thin on the ground in this area. Some of these looks are scowlish. Some, but you can see that there is a wide berth given. There is a perimeter, an unspoken perimeter set up that every time that you if you glance over, it's not like a defiant glance, it's more like they quick look away, because
They get real interested in their fingertips.
yeah
Oh,
yeah
Every time I see somebody scowling at me, I smile at them and I wave.
and then I smile at them and I tap my Acquisitions Incorporated badge.
I say hi.
Now I have to ask, because we need to get a little detailed here with Eno. Does Eno have
Are
does
his
he-
chompers like?
does he have no, I gotta do it. Does he have teethlings?
No, I mean, I think his teeth are relatively human. Like the main feature that he's got is the horns.
Okay. All right, so he's not showing. So it's not like he's able to do the smile, and it's like this big fangy,
Yeah, no.
Hi.
Tieflings can look like more human than
Okay.
kind of demon. There are other tieflings that can look more demon than human,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of on the more human side of
Okay.
tiefling.
So except for he's the nice, he's an autumn.
Yeah, he's got that scarlet skin though. So
Yeah, he's got that. He's got the horns.
Mhm.
Great. This is the time of year where everything looks great on him. Because you got the right color scheme, the right color palette for it.
He's in season.
He is in season.
He's so in right now.
Mhm.
Autumnal.
Autumnal.
Almost at the peak of ripeness. Almost. Right there.
That's a strange way to describe it, but I accept.
But yeah, you do notice that they're not. No one, Thunuk, is attempting to confront you, as they did upon your first journey into Elboulder.
Well, that's very safe for them.
Yeah, and Drenmai, Drenmai, you never really had the issues that Thunuk did. You've been in Elboulder before, and it's either because they know you and they're like, cool, it's Drenmai, or it's, oh shit, it's Drenmai. So the people
I
that
imagine
might
it'd be the latter.
well, no, you have friends there, and they're like, oh, Drenmai,
Yeah.
I like Drenmai. And then you've got the people who might have had an issue at some point and probably found themselves in some way, shape, or form poked, prodded, or lit on fire, or any combination therein. So you
That sounds about right.
yeah. And so I have this feeling that we got Drenmai, who's just like, don't give a shit, right? You got Hugon's like, bring it. You got Eno, who's just
Please try to give a shit.
you got
Please
Eno,
try.
who's just basically he's got the horns, and Thunuk. What would Thunuk's reaction be to this? Because Thunuk, I think, would be because Eno's been in big cities before, so Thunuk, this is still kind of like, and this is
I
where
think
we
it's
had.
gonna be the same as last time. He's completely oblivious to the fact that no one actually likes him. He likes everyone,
This is true.
and everyone is his friend.
He's a capybara.
Pretty much.
He's our cinnamon roll.
In fact, now he recognizes where he's at. He's like, when I was here last time, I sold someone a good luck medallion, which was an old pot lid.
lid.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't it like a cast iron pot lid that you had like scrimshot or some shit
Yeah.
into a Lucky Charm?
You hand it to him, like, ka-dong!
Ka-thump.
And now that he realizes that they were walking around, he's like, "Oh, I should have brought my little stick that
I
hangs off
didn't
my
bring my stuff. Damn
my
it.
stuff." Oh, people need these things. They're important. But he wants to make sure that the person who bought it is doing well. It has brought them
They're
the,
dead.
the good fortune that they wanted.
They died when they accidentally fell asleep and the
You
thing
had
fell on their
accidentally scribed the profane symbols of Besheba
head.
onto it. The
Zu-
unluck.
Zuktmoy has shown up.
The unluck.
So
the-
what is it?
The dark sister of Timora.
So what is it that you would like? How would you like to start this? How would you like to do your thing here in El Boulder today?
Today, Hugon's primary goal would be going to whoever is in charge of El Boulder. Is that like a mayor or something less
I
hierarchical?
think at this point there really is no one in charge of El Boulder because there was
You arrested them.
well
That's right.
so
I did do that.
the only let us do this. Let us do an investigation check. If anyone could
Investigation.
So if that's anyone who would like to investigate this, please do an investigation roll, and I will tell you what you discover and find out with said rolls.
Do
in
I
terms
add my
in terms of
obviator?
determining who's in charge.
Do I add my obviator anything to this?
You know, that's an excellent question. Fortunately,
I'm going to argue that since I've been here a lot, that I should get advantage.
6th edition. She gets advantage.
Oh, that's right. We're going by 6th edition rules. I will say this, Drenmai. If you can describe to me the friend that you have in El Boulder that you're going to reach out to as one of your contacts, I will allow for advantage. Let's see, obviator.
So,
Do they
is
have to
El
be
Boulder?
a literal friend and not just someone that she's decided that
I-
she's known their entire life and therefore she gets to hassle them?
Listen, friendship can be interpreted different ways, but I
That's
would
true.
say, I will say not a friend, who the contact is, and I want to know what the relationship is. Is it positive? Is it negative? I want some fleshed out stuff here.
World build.
Yeah, let's
for us.
build some worlds here.
Is this town on coastal or inland?
It's
Inland.
inland. It's not even river based, if I
so-
recall correctly.
Then I am going to say that I would probably know somebody here that would be in the trade, because if it's going to be kind of like a hub of where people are passing through and then going through, I'm going to know someone in the trade thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to call him Darsh Cantu,
Okay.
and
Darsh.
he is going to be Cantu, Cantu.
You know, it
Darsh,
figures
D-A-R-S-H.
that you would spell it with a C because I immediately wrote a K down. So it's like, oh
Nope,
no,
it's a C.
Brian's gonna misspell it again. Not Gemweaver with a G, it's Gemweaver with a J.
Yep.
Okay, so Darsh Cantu, and he is a member of the Traders Guild, or what is his job?
Yeah, he'd be in the trade. I don't know if he would exactly be on the up and up. He might be in that gray line between, yeah, I might have a business license, but I kind of trade stuff that might not be so business license.
Okay, so he is definitely a trader. It's just a matter of where on the spectrum.
How
He's
legit?
he's a gray market.
Yes.
He's a gray market trader. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Illegal if you get caught.
It's and even then, it's like the right coins to the right person, a little persuasion. So, Hugon, I would allow for advantage if you were to take a couple of minutes to do your obviator observation thing and pick out
Absolutely.
and do your pick out like that's my guy.
I got you, fam.
right? There's
I'll
like
go ahead and roll, but I'll do the.
there's a
the
there's a
others.
great scene from The Sopranos after Tony Soprano gets shot. He's back with the guys for the first time after being out of the hospital, and he realizes he might be losing some step with. He might have lost a little step with the people in the room, right? Because it's a very alpha male situation, and so he's looking around the room,
Surprise.
and he takes a moment and he picks out like the biggest guy there and picks a fight with him. But it's more like he was sizing everyone up, like looking at their arms. Yeah, like I can fight. No, I'm not gonna fight that guy. I'm not gonna get anything from that. No, I'm gonna that motherfucker. I'm gonna fight that guy.
I have
Yeah.
never seen The Sopranos, but you've successfully convinced me not to.
No, you would love. It's good.
I'm kidding. I'm not being. I'm messing.
Anyway. And if anyone else would like to participate in this investigation to determine who is in charge of El Boulder, I am all ears.
21 in total.
Okay, so you did a 21. So, all right, let me ask you a few more questions. Darsh, male, female, non-identified. Where are we going with?
Male.
Male. Okay.
Male.
Human or elf or
human.
whatever. Human.
No, male, human, has a background of being a bard if we're going into class and that kind of stuff.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a flavor.
troubadour.
Needs a good performance. Needs a good performance checks for being a salesman sometimes.
Yeah, I that would be really interesting. That instead of it being like his performance being, I play music, is I play your hopes and desires.
What can I do to get you into a horse and cart today?
Today.
Exactly.
Today.
And how is the relationship between Dren and Darsh? Is it one of... Now, we have some choices here. It could be, hey, we're old friends. It could be we're business rivals and we put up with each other. It could be that it's kind of like, oh, Dren's here.
I'm picturing it more like we're kind of that friend where it's like we can both benefit from each other's either knowledge or items or shit that they have.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, cool.
Convenience.
It's yeah. It's
So as
not
long-
like buddy we go out drinking.
As long as
but
the
we're
relationship
cool
remains...
because we-
Yeah, okay, so as long as the
Yeah.
relationship remains mutually beneficial, everyone's cool, but it really is no deeper than
Yes.
that.
No, we're not. This is not a deep friend. This is like a contact that I'm like, hey, if I might need to source some questionable materials, I can go to Darsh.
I gotcha. Okay. So, Darsh's shop. That's going to be hard to say.
I'm picturing him not having a shop. It's going to be like the cart thing. Because he's not going to want to stay mobile, or he's going to want to stay mobile just in case, something happens and he needs to get out of town.
Okay. So he
He fucks up aggressively and has to be like, deuces.
Exactly. Yeah.
the sides of it actually fold down when he's wherever he is, and that's how he displays his wares. Right, so he could actually, like the side actually would like pivot down, and he's got like a little awning that he could set up so that it's a nice little, he can set up shop, So he's just lounging in a chair, his various wares, various and sundry goods.
Oh yeah, he's
Set there.
definitely going to be the Romani type.
Mm-hmm. And he sees you coming. He's smoking. I see him smoking on like a really long stemmed pipe, like one of those Hobbit pipes. It's like super...
Man,
I'm down for that.
I miss mine. I had one for a long time, and then it broke. I really miss it.
I've only seen one of those in real life ever once, and I was walking along the Potomac River as some ultra bro dude pulls it out of his jacket, and I'm like,
hang on. What I'm envisioning is somebody in like an 80s like ski jacket that's like garishly teal blue colored.
Oh no,
like
I mean like
the flak jacket, sunglasses, and he's like
great.
whipping out a pipe, stuffing it.
No, this was like ultra DC, like hill rat.
Oh god,
bro guy, like select pompadour,
yeah,
all that stuff.
That's amazing.
Ugh.
But continue, please.
And he sees you approach and smiles with the pipe clenched between his teeth. Ah, Drenmai. It's so good to see you today.
Hey, Darsh.
Are you here to buy something? Please tell me that we will be exchanging money for goods and services.
I may be able to help you with something. I'm more looking for information this time, though.
Ah, information. I have information of all kinds.
I know. That's why I love you.
How can I be
First,
of help?
I want to know.
To my oldest and dearest
Who's-
friend.
I want to know who's in charge, and then I want to know who's in charge.
Ah. Well, for the moment, there is nobody in charge. And there is nobody in charge of the people who are not in charge. It is a unique opportunity.
What happened? It wasn't like this last time.
No, from what I understand, there were some powers behind the mayor, who was mayor in name only. And,
What happened to the mayor?
well, let's see. First it was the Red Bands. They had some words with him, and then suddenly they fell out of power. And there's like a little glance over at like Hugon's direction as Hugon's doing his obviator thing. There's like just the slightest glance. They fell out of power, and without the money from his previous patron coming in, without the power of the muscle that he had with the Red Bands, he was removed from office. And no one has felt
And I
the need to reoccupy said desk.
kind of glance over at Hugon, like, and then,
It is a unique opportunity.
when you keep saying opportunity, like you have an idea.
Well, if we're always trying to find new ways to grow business, and there's no one to tell us that we cannot grow our business, no one collecting fees, no one telling me I cannot hang up a sign,
This is true.
licensing and inspection is non-existent, there's opportunity to
I know
finally
you
make
can't
some...
park your cart in this certain area because we don't want you there. Yeah, I
Zoning.
know.
It's terrible. But
Zoning
right now-
laws.
Indeed,
Hugon's
indeed.
probably like, yeah.
So for the moment, for an enterprising individual, there is much opportunity.
Is everyone around me, or did I just go wander off?
That is, I will leave that up to them.
Yeah, I'm asking. Players.
I think I would have probably tried to go with you if you would, if
Oh,
you
I
weren't
wasn't like
waving me
sneaking off or anything.
All
I
right.
was just probably like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're here. I'm gonna go talk to this person because you guys were mentioning, wanting to know things, and I have a bad case of just like, well, I know, so I just went and didn't, communicate that.
Yeah, Eno would be looking at his wares to
Mm.
try and see like what he had to for sale.
Ah, my
Okay.
tiefling friend, it is so good to see more. I've never seen a tiefling this far south. It is wonderful
I've-
to see some culture finally arriving here in this town.
Well, it's good of you to say so. So what do you have for sale here today?
Well, as you can ask your friend, Ms. Gemweaver, what is it you're looking for?
Yeah, just ask because he doesn't always show everything.
No, it's not that. It's just that I might know a guy who knows a guy. And the more valuable things.
Because
you
Jeet has
can-
many wares.
Because
sorry.
just as many words if
sorry.
you have coin.
Do you have any potions?
Depends on what
Any-
kind of. Like a healing potion, or are you looking for something more esoteric, more exotic?
Of potion.
Oh, I don't know. You got any fire breathing potions?
Fire breathing potions. Oh, they are They're very illegal, are they not? They're very
Oh.
tough. They're very highly regulated.
I didn't know that. Well, I mean, if there's nobody here to tell us what's legal, then why?
Oh,
How are
but
they that illegal?
where you would need to go to find these things, I mean, I wouldn't want to put myself or you into a situation where you potentially travel somewhere and find yourself in need of in need of contact with the authorities, and they find it on you, and then you're in trouble, and then you say where you got it, and then you come to me, and it's very, very dangerous to carry that around. It gets into the wrong hands, and things light on fire. I mean, Miss Genweaver understands. Dren may understand when things light on fire. Not always a good thing. Yes, very, very highly regulated. Very difficult to come by.
So what about
puffs away at his pipe.
what about healing potions?
Well, healing
Any healing
potions. We could,
Healing potions?
yeah, we could do some healing potions. Those are much easier to come by.
Okay.
What how are you looking for? As I'm stalling for time as I look up the prices. Do they even have it in here? Where would they have it? It's in one of these books.
Potions? I don't
Yeah.
know. I've always looked online.
It's all the way over there, though. Potions. Potions.
Do you have your Discord open?
I do not. Yes, I do. I always have Discord.
Okay, I'll link
open.
it to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Okay. We're getting some. Okay, hang on. This is the Dungeon Master stalling for time. Vamp.
Well, whilst you are stalling for time,
Yes,
I will
whilst you're
explain what
yes.
Hugon is doing.
Thank you.
Hugon has gone to the bar where he had his little moment with the red bands.
With
Has acquired
chair.
his stool. He has acquired his stool, and he has placed it on the outside of the bar, on the porch or entryway, and is enjoying a drink whilst he studies the goings-ons of the town.
And as you sit down, it plays a little tune
It goes "Fweep"
because Dren
like
might
a
tinkered
musical
it.
fart. Yes.
A musical fart.
His intent is essentially to dissect the paths of these people
Okay.
to figure out if business is being conducted, where is it being conducted, and with whom is it being conducted. Because he's not aware necessarily of the absence of a leader yet.
Okay.
So he is trying to figure out if there's a place people are rolling into to get, permits or to, be paid, that sort of thing.
So this would be, we said, investigation. Yes. I'm looking at.
Oh, there goes the die. Shit.
Why wouldn't they put this in any kind of real order?
I got
That.
20.
Potion. Okay, wait a minute.
Womp 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 womp.
Oh, really? We got a blomp?
Hit the blomp button real quick.
Hang on. I will. I'm
Just
doing it.
hammer it. Hammer the button. I deserve my blomps.
You got your blomps.
Good.
Blomps have been applied. Okay, so you are trying to find out, you're just trying to figure out the who's who and what's what.
Essentially, yeah, and that is my goal here.
Mm-hmm.
If power is decentralized, I want to know who is still occupying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're basically vectoring the people around you.
Basically,
You're
the
picking
geometry of human movement.
You're picking up on the subtle movements and how these things relate to other people. It seems as though there's no direct or central leadership that you're picking up on. It's more like who has influence at the moment. And there might be several people vying for that influence, or that just naturally have that influence based on their position within the town, based on the job they have. The tavern is obviously a central, if there is a central hub, the tavern is the most likely. With this if there is a second, it's a very close second, if not first. It might change from day to day, maybe even hour to hour. That the logging guild, and there seems to be, and you notice that. So you did recognize. You saw Sahir, the barkeep, at the inn where you are, or the tavern where you are right now. And you do notice that at the Logging Guild, which is a 2-story affair, like across the street and down a couple blocks, you do notice that there is an individual sitting on a stool out front, lounging, much the same as you, and kind of taking in the crowd, much in the very same way that you are. And you sense that there is some influence there with her as well.
And who is this person? Is it a human, a half-elf, elf? What are we dealing with? Or whom are we dealing with, I should say?
You are dealing with what looks to be a female goblin, which is a big surprise in this town.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And very curious.
And you notice that, like, the one ear, long pointed ear, lots of various earrings and hoops of various sizes and shapes and adornment, all up in her right ear. And then across she even has like the earlobe, the top part, the cartilage part, which absolutely sucks to pierce, but lots of that as well. There's one of them has a chain running to a nose ring and back across the face. Dressed relatively plainly, but definitely in a way that shows some form of authority. It's not like she's dressed in some form of raiment of any kind of nobility. These are clothes that she could very easily go work in if need be. But they do appear to have some kind of, however the arrangement is, it's subtle, but you could tell that there's like
politicians and nobles and that ilk are beggars of glamour.
Mm-hmm.
They feel the need to express a great deal of plumage to get their point across. That is not the case here, is what I'm picking up.
Yeah, it's not being put on for airs, but it is to show that, yes, there's a level of authority there.
Okay. Well,
so.
I'll observe, and we can continue with the potions.
Okay. So with the
Then
potions, well, they're kind of expensive. And he goes, well, I have 3 of these potions that might be able to help you in the future if you would need them. I mean, they're very difficult to come by around here, but I could let all 3 go for 200 gold.
And Eno's drinking from his water flask, and when he says that, he's wow.
Are you sure you want a potion? Perhaps you would like some other form of...
Yeah, you got anything like a lot cheaper?
Oh, my friend, I do not do things for cheap. Cheap is just such a dirty word. Things have a value, and out here it is difficult to come by many of these things. I had to travel very far to come, and...
No, the birds say cheap, Do you got any scrolls? Any cheap scrolls? Any inexpensive scrolls?
There we go. That's the nomenclature I am looking for.
I only have a few gold. I haven't gotten paid yet.
No? Drenmai, tell me this is not true. He has not been paid for the work that he has done for you yet.
You know how they are. They're slow. I don't think I've been paid in months.
The bureaucracy must be served. I understand completely.
Mhm.
That's why it's so much fun to come out here, where you have to deal with so much less of it. Ah, my friend. Ah, inexpensive scroll. Well, I do believe there is one that I received. I came into contact with a druid not very long ago. And through some events that I won't go into the details right now, but I was able to help them, they were able to help me, and in return I was able to come across this scroll that can make your skin as difficult to pierce as an ironwood tree.
Whoa. That
It would
sounds pretty good.
It would protect you from many, many different physical attacks, should you find yourself in such a situation.
Mm-hmm. How much would that be?
Well, I don't know if it's something that you really want, though. I mean, are you ready for this kind of thing, or would you be more apt to maybe try some of the armor that I have? I want to make sure we're getting you into the right thing at the right time for the right price.
Well, I mean, I've already got studded leather. I don't know, I don't know what more I could have there.
Well, how much were you looking to spend? I think that might make, if I understood your budget a little better.
Well, I mean, I've only got like 15 gold to spend here.
Oh.
Not a lot.
I would not be allowed to I could not. If for no other reason than just for the memory of my friend and the adventures that we had, I could not let it loose for that little of a price. But perhaps we can arrange for some kind of trade.
Just a small point. Are we on a per diem for any of these contracts?
No.
Say like 60 gold per diem.
No, Acking, you get paid by the contract. Otherwise, it goes against the contract.
I had to try, ladies and gentlemen. I had to give it a shot.
Well,
Forgive me.
Well, what's on offer? I mean, what am I buying?
Well,
I don't even know.
The scroll itself would be the tender that we are looking to trade here. The scroll would give you access to the magics stored within.
You mean permanently, or that's one-time use, right?
It is one-time use, but you never know when that one time is going to be very, very important.
Yeah. Well, how much is the scroll?
Ordinarily, it would be... Well, you're a friend of Drenmai, so I could let it go for 450 gold, which I know is outside of your budget, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm detecting a bit of an accent. Would that be just a hint of Waterdavian?
I mean, I did spend some time in Waterdeep, but that's, as far as I know, not really where I'm from.
But underneath that accent, there is something else, I believe. Under the Waterdavian accent.
Well, I mean, my first memories were of, the Drowlands.
Perhaps we can, and Drenmai can vouch for me, perhaps we can organize a trade of information. I could let this scroll go, provided you deliver a letter for me. If you should happen to find yourself in Waterdeep, you strike me as someone who might be able to navigate the various alleyways.
I mean, that's one of the places where we would like to go, yes. So I could deliver a letter for you, sure.
Drenmai, do you think this is fair? I don't want to be seen as taking advantage of this new friend that you have introduced.
Nah,
to me.
I'd already be yelling at you if I found it was unfair.
Come back in 1 hour, and I shall have everything you need.
Excellent.
Kind of like look at Hugon, like anything that you want.
Hugon is far away at the
Yeah,
moment.
he's-
so...
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. She's like
Hugon-
yelling, "You need anything?"
Hugon, would you like to be a part of this illicit deal? Would you like to be implicated?
Do you want to help us?
No. And also die.
Yeah.
Eno says, "Well, I could maybe play some music in the meantime and maybe drum up some business for you."
Oh, my friend. While I appreciate the offer, I will kindly have to decline. But I appreciate the offer. Maybe another time. Maybe another time you and I can put on some performances for the crowds of our own.
Okay. Is there like a tavern nearby?
There is. It's the one that Hugon is sitting in front of.
Okay. So I look at Dren and I'm like, well, Dren, I'm gonna go have a drink, and maybe I'll see you over there when you're done.
I'll kind of look at Darsh and be like, is there anything that you need?
Well,
Within reason.
within reason, of course. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take a rain check on that.
That's understandable.
I think that's fine because I think right now.
Hugon, you're not there.
I know, and like, believe me, this would be a very different conversation if Hugon was there.
I know.
But he is not. He is
Mhm.
not. And he doesn't know what's
I'm,
happening.
Yep.
We'll just say that I'm
Uh,
sure over the course of the years you have helped me, I have helped you. I think that
Yeah.
I know where to
Just
find
goes
you.
back and forth.
I know where to find
Oh
you.
yeah. And I'll look at Thunuk and like, well, if you don't want anything, then
Yeah, did Thunuk wander over with
can go
them,
get
or did
some
he?
food.
See, I actually don't know if he'd be allowed to wander around on his own or with these two, because if this is this a cart like where things are visible and
Mhm.
available to.
Oh yes.
It's a bad idea. So the entire time, Thun is probably like poking and prodding at things. Like, what does this do?
Thunuk he looks at the do not touch sign and doesn't like comprehend that, like, why wouldn't I not be able to touch things, and just touches all of them.
Wow, no, I don't think he goes so far as that so much. It's like he's like, oh yeah, it's like just to prove that this touching is a potential thing that is that reality is allowing, or like
careful,
as an act
careful,
of
my
rebellion.
friend. Careful, my large friend. Be careful. Do not touch that necklace there. It carries a very deep and complicated curse.
Oh, I can uncurse it for you.
Oh, this curse is very, very deep magic. All who have touched it and all who have worn it have never found love again in their life.
That sounds unpleasant.
I wouldn't
Unless,
want
of
you to
course, that's what
become
you'd like.
I wouldn't know. No. It is a terrible, terrible existence to live life without any love.
And you just keep it hanging out here like this? You should probably put it in a box. It's dangerous.
But I cannot touch it, otherwise I will never find love.
Well, I mean, I got a mage hand. I can
I
use
would
that
not want to
put it in a
bother
bo-
you with it. It's fine where it is. But I
The
just
mage hand is already like is already coming over. As soon as I said mage hand, the mage hand appeared and it's like coming over.
Like,
So,
no,
like,
no. It is.
So next
please.
got his walking stick. He's like, I could use this walking stick and just
No.
pick it up, and I wouldn't have to. These both. I mean, both of these would work. We just have to put it in a box and be safe. No one
Yeah.
would accidentally touch it.
No,
What if
my
somebody
friends.
touches
Drenma, you might want to take control of your friends for a moment there, but I think we should just leave it alone. I wouldn't want to
start, like,
disturb the
shoving them.
ancient magics that have possessed this piece of jewelry.
Like this little
But-
tiny gnome is like on their calf muscles. Like, come on,
but
But this
food.
is dangerous. It
it's can't,
It's fine. It's not
But
the
it's
only
just-
dangerous thing he has.
oh.
Wait, it's not. But he just keeps saying
Nah.
hanging. But
Yeah,
anyone could touch
dangerous
it.
Things can come in handy sometimes.
We'll come back later.
Yes,
And
I
I
will
try
see you.
and-
Return in 1 hour, and we will be able
I-
to complete our transaction.
I try and help lead
We'll be over
Sonic
at
away.
the inn over there if we're not here. We'll be right over there.
The entire time he's being led away. It's like, safety first. This is
I know.
dangerous.
I know. It's very dangerous.
So, wander away. You see, he straightens up.
You're
some-
muted, Hugon.
I know. It's best that I was.
Um,
I was trying to parse all of that,
the chaos.
and nothing good could have come from any of it.
So you guys wander away. You're heading over to the tavern now to do your little
Yeah.
weighty deal. And
Have
Hugon,
a drink.
and as you walk in, you pass by Hugon. Every time Hugon shifts in his chair, the stool, and you notice that the stool, the one leg looks kind of odd, different than all of the other legs. And every time he shifts, a little like woodwind little note comes out from the one leg. Clearly, one of the legs has been converted into a musical instrument.
So Eno would have his lute out, and every time the chair plays a note, he would be playing along with the chair.
Performance check.
while he drinks.
Do it?
Right.
No, please. Performance check. That's amazing.
Performance check.
It's 29.
29.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whatever you want that performance to look like, we can make it look like.
Yeah, so he's got his mage hand is still out for right now, and
Mhm.
and he's got right? Doesn't that last more than a minute?
I'm sure.
Oh, that only lasts a minute. Well, he got the mage out. It's a
Mhm.
cantrip.
Yeah.
So he's got mage hand out, and he's got his drum like on the bar, and the mage hand is like drumming, and so every time the chair makes a noise, a tone, he's playing like the next set of tones in a crescendo, or in a sort of arpeggio is what the word I was looking for.
Okay.
And then he takes a drink, and then he puts it down. The chair makes a tone, and then he plays more. He's like doodle 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 doo. And then the chair goes boop, and he goes doodle 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 doo. And the chair goes boop, doodle 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 doo. And then he takes a drink.
And unfortunately, the only beer that they have there is a very watery, light thing that is beer pretty much in name only. Not much in the way of flavor.
It is weak and it will die. In the
Tastes
winter.
like it might have been brewed with rice.
Hey, rice beer is good.
Not when it was brewed with the cheapest possible ingredients with entirely too much water.
Okay, well, in that case, yes, it's probably bad. But I
So-
won't have rice beer maligned, sir.
I'll have you know, sir, that rice beer, sir, is fine.
It is. I'm sorry.
And it's not, and it's actually a really big disappointment because when you were in Waterdeep, if you wanted the cheap stuff, if you just had a hankering for some golden anniversary type beer, you could find it. But if you really wanted to have some good beer, you could find some good beer. And in Pinedale, there appears to be nothing but good beer. Because it's like the only place to get the beer is from the brewers and from the Brewing Guild, as led by the dwarf Azerbaijan. And it tastes good there. And this is just such a huge disappointment. Like, you can, like, on that, that scale, the beer lightness scale? This is like a 1.
Yeah, the SRM scale.
Yeah, this is a 1.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good.
So, like, after he plays his song, he'd probably ask the barkeep, "Do you have anything else? Any like
And he says,
anything else to drink?"
"Unfortunately, friend Tiefling, I do not. It's been hard to get, and with coin being what it's been in the recent months, Haven't quite had enough socked away just yet to order the good stuff. This is unfortunately all we have been able to get access to. It's nobody here really knows how to brew, and this is kind of where we've been with it. If you drink enough of it, you'll get drunk, but
what if you had some recipes?
well, that would be part of it, but we'd also need to have people that would know what to do with the recipes.
Oh.
That would be part of the challenge. But unfortunately, we're not set up at the moment. So I can only offer you this beer adjacent beverage.
I mean, is there anything we can do to help you get some better beer around here? I mean,
if you find someone who's willing to act as a brewer, I have no doubt that there will eventually be coin to get that business. There is definitely a need for the nectar of the gods in this town.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Listen, I might know somebody. I'll talk to him.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Thunuk, what have you been doing with all of this? Besides poking at cursed necklaces and... Or have you just been sort of following along, like keeping, and now it's just time to sit down and relax, or...
He's been taking in the changes of the town, and he's sort of just thinking to himself that he's happy that the town is doing better, but those poor trees, those poor trees. I wish there was something he could do for them, but this is the way of things. This is the circle of existence. There's nothing to be done. I know.
You did notice that it is responsible logging now. Now, I know that it still might have a certain... Yeah. It's not just them... They're not clear cutting. They're not, doing Brazilian rainforest on it, but they're being responsible. They're actually getting help from the Emerald Enclave to help engage in their responsible practices.
As he finds this out, he's like, so the trees who got cut down had it coming.
What the fuck?
That's his logic. He's like, why else would the Emerald Enclave encourage the cutting down of certain trees? They clearly had it coming. These are bad trees.
That's the darkest Thunuk has ever been.
They're bad use.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
Groan. Okay.
I can't think of a better time for us to go to our break. So okay. I think we're going to go to our break.
That's a good break point.
I need like a fucking first aid.
So we will be right back after a break where we recover whatever hit points we can from that last pun, and we shall come back and play more of the Dungeons and Dragons. So please stay tuned. Yay! We're back, and Nintendo did not eat us.
Well,
for those of you who are curious about what we are discussing,
we were doing this song.
No, I swear, I swear to the heavens.
Imagine a sound that occurs well underneath the ground in certain places where you are a plumber.
That's even skirting the line, man.
I did cross it.
We are dealing with a fiendish.
Imagine a sound
Can we play Dad
under the ground that plays when you're there.
No, wait, I can't rip off Tom Waits. He doesn't deserve that.
Hi. We're gonna do our second half.
You're talking to them, not us.
Well, to everyone, really.
Oh.
Anyone who wants to hear the words that are about to come out of my mouth.
Just not you, Thunuk.
It's time for us to play the second part of Team X.
All right. Haas, you gotta understand.
I don't know where I went wrong.
Listen,
I had the purest of
man.
intentions to
It's
play
not your
Dungeons and
fault.
Dragons with my. No, it is my fault. It's always my fault. I'm the
No,
dungeon
no, no,
master. Of course, it's my fault.
Mm,
I
false.
rounded you miscreants up together. I fed you all donuts at some point. You followed me onto the stream, and now I can't get rid of you. And now we have to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I didn't get a donut.
You
Well,
did not get
I
it.
think
Oh,
we
that's right.
remember this differently.
We do remember it differently, but also understand that you are much like a king requires a jester. The DM must have players.
Yes, this is true. And you know
Must
what? It's not my
suffer
fault.
from the microcosm of the ego.
You know whose fault it is? Ryan fucking Hartman. It's his fucking fault.
Well, hey now.
No, it is his fault. You want to know why? Because he runs
Why?
Unplugged, and that is essentially how all of this started in 2017. Because I met
You are-
most of you people, and you were delightful. And
You are
now,
technically correct.
and then
The
through,
best kind.
because I know you delightful people, I got to meet another delightful person who now sings for us, almost on command, and it's just like, now, God. And now I still have to wait another 2 goddamn weeks to see you. So that's where we are right now. And
Really? Couldn't it-
Wait.
Three.
she's got the
Wait
countdown.
for it.
3 weeks.
Wait.
And that's my spaz about PAX Unplugged and my friends.
Okay.
Wah, I've got people that I like being around.
Oh,
Wah.
hold on. Have you got a
18
countdown?
Days, 19 out. Mm-hmm.
How many
it's
days?
Right here. It's right there.
18
18 days, 19 hours, 16 minutes, 48, 47, 46, 45. I'll
We
keep
get it.
going.
I should probably buy a plane ticket.
Yes.
What the shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck, Yvonne?
I forgot.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
Yes. Go get do your plane ticket. Let's have you do.
But first, let's play Dungeons and
But
Dragons.
first,
First, we should play.
we shall finish this game. This specific, discrete game of Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, we're gonna do that. So, where we last left our protagonists, our main characters, I in the moment I could call them heroes because they haven't done anything untoward yet. But the night is still young.
Right now we're bureaus.
Right now, you're Beeros. You are Beeros. Because beer has been consumed. Information has been, or some information has been gleaned. Songs have been played. Contextually. This is important things.
Wow, I look like a. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. I need to close this window.
You are so shiny now.
This is, wow.
Allow
Alien
me to
abduction.
apotheose, please, stream. Excuse me for a moment.
That was very bright.
But the
That
fact
was
that he
very
wasn't
bright.
levitated and taken out the window is a.
What would have been
Nice
amazing
thing
is if
about
he
it.
didn't even say anything and he just went like, if he was just like this and like looked and just
Floated.
went, just floated away. That would have been amazing. But that's okay. There is either
You're
an
saying you're gonna get abducted by aliens.
there's
that
either
was
an
so bright.
there's like either an abundance or a dearth of light in your room right there. It's
Listen,
the darkness was pretty cool, but back
I
to
can
this.
make it. I could make it dark if you would like.
Nah, Thunic made it pretty dark to begin with the killing of asshole trees, apparently. So this,
That's dark for a cinnamon roll. That's got some dark chocolate on that cinnamon roll.
but there's you know what it is? It's a little some extra coffee beans in there. It enhances the flavor, but it's a little bitter. But the whole purpose of this excursion to Elboulder is a part of the larger plan of fulfilling contracts, which have been arranged by Stephen while other quests are being pursued. And the current quest is to do some investigation into the secret and shady real estate dealings of one Zedram Kai, who apparently at one point was trying to consolidate some form of power and caused issues and yada yada yada. And during the course of this, the tactic has been, let's see who's in charge of Elboulder, which we have discovered right now. No, there's no like one person. There's no formal government happening in El Boulder right now. We know that there's no government. We know that there's no Department of Licensing and Inspection, which is providing for opportunities. And we know that there is no good beer.
It's just this is a wholly unacceptable situation. We got rid of the racists and didn't improve anything.
One step at a time.
Yeah, I guess, I mean...
Well, the
this is
racists
true.
were the ones perpetuating the bad beer.
And other social ills. But yes, I just... so disappointing.
Yes. Well, listen.
Effort
Consider it.
must be made.
The foundation. Listen, sometimes you got to raise the building, right, in order to start over. And this is where we are. We have a foundation, right? And
Maybe don't use that metaphor with Hugon, because he might actually do it.
or Thunic, or anyone in this crew, because listen, sometimes things just have to go boom.
Sometimes.
That being said, how would you like to continue? How would you like to proceed with your investigation here?
I would like to go and talk to the Goblin Woman.
Yes. So,
Dren will not be joining.
Probably for the better. We each have
well,
our...
gnomes, goblins, that's kind of a thing.
I thought that was gnomes and kobolds.
That's too, but also
Oh
gnomes and
shit! So
goblins.
it's like there's a couple of different tiers. Oh
Yeah.
god! Oh no!
Yeah, so I think if I'm gonna have to play two character, I'm going to have to initially hate this person.
there's like a genetic level of ugh happening there.
Yeah, there's kobolds and goblins, and there's one other. I'm gonna look
That's
that.
Who do I hate? Oh my god, don't Google that.
Pretty much.
That's a shitty part of D&D.
Well, listen, there's just years of antagonism, mutual antagonism that's been going back and forth, and just
Sure.
it doesn't mean that these things can't be overcome, but
Oh yeah, but like the existence of a racial trait called hatred is pretty fucking
yeah.
like. It's not
Well,
good.
It's just part of the thing. Elves look down on like everyone, and there's
Well, maybe
just...
they fucking shouldn't.
Well, they can be a little haughty. Little haughty.
Yeah.
And so Eno's at the bar.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna try and talk to the bartender and
Okay.
see if they know anything.
All right, so you're going to try gleaning information that way. You're doing your music thing. You've already started to establish some rapport with him regarding the potential of getting a proper beer brewed in here. Thunic, you're with him in the bar?
Yeah.
Or are you outside? Or where is I don't want to
No,
place you.
Unless he feels he has been indicated otherwise, he's basically just going to stick with the group. Maybe if he comes across something that sounds like critters in the area require assistance, he might wander off temporarily.
And does Thunic order anything from the bar?
We just got there. How long since breakfast? I guess it hasn't been that long.
Well, I mean, you probably did like breakfast, and then you had to prepare everything, and make all the arrangements and all the other stuff. So it might be
It sounds
a little
lunchish.
package. 11sies.
Okay.
It's somewhere between second breakfast and 11sies.
Every
I'm-
time of day is food day.
Is
You are
food?
not a
What time is it? It is always food o'clock.
It is always food o'clock if you are not restricted by cowardice.
There we go.
Thunic will request some food. He's just like, I'm kind of hungry. What do you have bowl wise or plate wise for someone
Bowl wise
Of
or
my-
plate wise?
that fits someone me big?
I have a new cook. Could I just have them like whip you something up? I mean, they're really good.
Okay.
They can probably
Yeah.
make it.
I mean, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Not with real whips, though, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Because
No,
I don't
no.
think he would like that.
Fomorians, that's who it was. Okay.
Well,
Continue on.
everyone hates the Fomorian. It's okay to hate Fomorians.
It's a Formorian.
I was. they're kind of
Fomorians are ant people.
Yeah,
Are they?
They're highly hierarchical, lawful, neutral ants.
Oh, I was thinking of something else.
You're thinking of Three Kreen.
No,
probably.
no. Here, I'll put a picture in our Discord of what a Fomorian looks
Oh,
like.
I mean, also, I'm probably operating under 12-year-old. Oh, what the fuck is that?
That's a Fomorian.
Jesus Christ!
You,
Yeah, they're giants.
Wow.
Well, they're
Yeah,
kind
they
of
are like
giant
cursed
thing.
giants.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
No.
So
That's
for anyone
yeah,
watching
they're-
on the stream here, I'm gonna find a picture of not a flump. Flump are delightful. Flumps are
For the
delightful.
podcast.
Well, here.
For the
If you want
podcast.
to link that, there's the.
Jesus,
I can
God in
link
heaven,
the-
that thing is ugly.
Yeah, no, Fomorians are okay to hate.
There.
They are chaotic,
Ugh.
evil giants
Mhm.
that are the most wicked and evil of all giants. So, but
And they keep Cyclops as servants.
yeah,
Just,
they're
throwing that out there.
they're pretty awful. So it's okay, because that's just sort of like no bad. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. Okay, so we're gonna come back to the food in just a second. So Hugon,
Yes.
John Wayne's down the way there.
Carrying his stool and drink.
Is the
I'm
stool
serious.
like a, no?
I'm
I know.
deadly serious.
This is your stool, right? So you have it over the shoulder, or is it dragging?
No, heavens no. I'm not such a crude beast as that. He's carrying it like a suitcase. Just, like a briefcase.
Mhm.
Sorry, not a suitcase. A briefcase.
Okay.
It's a stool,
Yeah. It's
It's
your
not
stool.
heavy. It's my stool.
You got your drink, which this is probably like when you were in campaigns and there was a severe lack of alcohol and there's always a way to brew, there's always a way to ferment and make booze. No matter
Yeah,
where you are, everywhere
Yeah.
at any time, there is a way. Someone finds a way to do it. Someone has probably found a way at some point, and this is reminding you of some of like not even the rot gut, because at least the rot gut was like,
It would
man,
at least get you drunk. This is just
it would clean you
piss
out.
water.
This is
This
this
is just bad.
This
not
is like it might not even have enough alcohol in it to make water safe to drink.
Oh dear.
Because that was the whole purpose of alcohol. They used to use wine as a way of making water safe
Purifying
to drink,
water.
because the
Or
alcohol,
like gaining vitamins they couldn't
yeah,
other way.
yeah,
otherwise
fortified
gain.
wines,
Yes.
yeah, things like that. This wouldn't even do that. If there was Giardia, not Giada de Laurentiis. That's something completely different. Giardia. That's a whole. Never mind. If there was a bug in there, there's not enough alcohol content. It might just get
Right.
it just might get the germ a little tipsy. So, John Wayne across there. You've got your stool. You've got your beer. Are you just plopping it right next down, right there, or what's the play here?
Hugon would approach. Now, this is going to seem like I am inventing characteristics of Hugon, like
Mhm.
out of the ether. I
Mhm.
promise that it is not. Hugon was created as a character speaking Undercommon, Orc, and Goblinoid.
Hmm.
The languages of the things that he fought the most often.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hook there.
Okay.
So he would address in Goblinoid this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, may I sit with you?
No, you got to say it in Goblin, dude.
I did.
No, you have to
I-
say it
I-
in Goblin.
Listen, the human mouth cannot.
what
It's like speaking droid binary. I can't do it.
what most people don't know is English is goblin.
Holy shit, you're right. You are
It's
correct.
a language that beat up other languages in a dark alley and rooted around their pockets for loose grammar.
It is a language of thievery. It's true. It's a beautiful language, but it's a language of thievery.
So she, so you say this to her, and she just says, "Go ahead, pull up a stool. You can talk plain. You don't gotta be all fancy." She answers in common.
Fair enough. He sets his stool down.
We have a new stream boss.
I see a Rush
Dun,
Dark
dun,
Shadow.
dun.
Dun dun dun.
Rush.
But I have no dark inspiration dice I need that inflation to spend.
Ha 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 ha.
So, but if I were to use it, this is what would happen. I've added an effect.
You have created an effect. The effect
I
is
have
real.
created.
Oh, neat.
Cool.
So, but I have no dark inspiration dice to use right now, so we'll have to remedy that at some point. At any rate, and she just says, "Yep, you just pull up a chair."
He sets his stool down and sweep as he
Mm-hmm.
sits on it.
And there's a kind of like a side eye as you do that,
Yeah.
and kind of like a raised eyebrow.
And you're gonna just like.
Doesn't that belong over in Sahir's place?
It's my stool. It belongs where I say it belongs.
Fine by me. And she just keeps on like surveying the crowd. Like she's never like once like it's not like she's not. It's so casual.
Yeah.
You know what she's doing, but it's not like a case
Yeah,
of where,
course.
you know, it's very relaxed. She goes, "You gonna keep having that piss water, or are you gonna try to have a real drink?
Oh, if you've got something to share, I'll take it.
Dump that shit." And she like reaches in, she pulls out the flask.
Somewhere behind Hugon. Hey!
And then he goes, "Ha!"
Yeah.
I mean, if we're in a place of business, I'd imagine somebody.
We're outside,
But
but
even
yeah.
still,
But still, there's
like
population.
also like, do you really want to start this fight, bro?
no, but it's like this dude Travis who like this is just happens to him all the time, no matter where.
He's like, come
So-
on, man.
Not again! Hey, why are you throwing beer on me again?
I
I
deserve
just
better than this.
bought these boots.
Look, if you bought boots that can't stand a little beer, you need to buy new boots.
Maybe he likes their fashionable ones.
Maybe
Maybe
he
this
should.
beer is just so bad it melts boots.
Exactly.
Holy hell!
No, it's not even that. It might wash the boots.
It's like the Pepsi. Of
Oh
beer
God!
world.
Oh,
It'll take rust off a bumper.
it'll dissolve nails eventually.
What she pours into your cup there is barely like 2 fingers, and this is in a mug still, but it's barely 2 fingers of it's clear. And
Does
like,
Hugon?
as it
like
approaches the craw region, if there were whatever your weakest and slowest nose hairs were, they're burned away.
they're destroyed.
The herd has been
Called,
thinned.
even winnowed. The weak have
You have
been winnowed.
nothing but strong nose hair left because
So, is this would Hugon, being a connoisseur of all things inebriated,
Mhm.
would he recognize this as a particular goblinoid beverage, or is this merely a beverage of utilitarian origin?
I think in this case it would have to be a survival check to find out. Not to see if you
I should-
survive drinking it.
Of course.
That'll be the second
Please.
roll. That'll be
My liver is hardened. It gets advantage. Please. So survival. Okay. Okay. Never mind. It's a 19 on the die.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that's a 22, something like that.
You know that the goblins, whenever you've like raided one of their war camps, what did you do?
Shit. No, nothing. Just like, this is bad history. Glad nobody
yeah.
else knows this.
If any times that you've raided a war camp, and you know there's always the searching for whatever supplies you can, because that's part of it, right? You gotta find the goods.
Every supply you can take from an enemy is worth 2 of your own.
What you've generally found there has been more like this black, thick, ichor like viscous substance
Mhm.
that is not quite tar just yet. And it is strong, and it is almost poisonous to most humans, but
Sure.
for whatever reason. But this is not. This is actually pretty clean tasting. This has a you're surprised. I mean, it's alcohol.
Oh,
It is strong. It is moonshine. But you're pretty sure that it might be like a potato moonshine that had at some point during the distilling process cranberries added.
Ooh. Strong choices.
Yeah. It's
I like these.
you're pretty sure that there are no more germs in your mouth and that your gut will soon be free of those germs, and any potential kidney infections or UTIs could possibly be solved with this as well.
Yeah. See,
This will
this is an alcohol that saves.
it will
You don't save versus the alcohol. The alcohol saves you.
Yes, it does. It basically reveals your urethra's freshest layer.
Don't say that, please.
That sounds super gross.
Like, I mean, like, I
uncomfortable.
don't like it because I work in hospitals, and catheters suck. That's all I'm getting at. Anyway,
And so she pours that, and she's like, you know, she has a little bit in her glass. She's like, holds up the glass. She's like, to your health.
cheers.
And boom, and it is down. There's
Oh
not
yeah, of course. You
so.
don't sip this shit. It goes wham.
But I would like you to do a Constitution check.
Well, that is a. Oh, I'm looking at the number upside down. Forgive me. 15.
There is the briefest of winces from you. There's just like an involuntary reaction, small, like, you know, like the smallest twitch, because this is strong.
Oh yeah, of course.
Strong. She says, "Well, I seen you when you came into town. I seen you checking everyone out there.
Mm-hmm.
I see the symbol y'all got there.
Mm-hmm.
You must be one of them there obviator types."
And you would be correct. And you seem to be somebody who's got their thumb on the situation here.
Well, I like to keep an eye on things. You know, got to make sure people stay at work. Work gets done, and things are done equitably. So, yeah, I guess you could say that. Real briefly, Thunnock, this enormous bowl is brought out to you.
Mm-hmm.
That the bartender, Sahar, is basically like both hands under, very careful, and it is this steaming, thick liquid, a reddish brown, and you can smell mushroom, and you can smell various tubers.
Oh,
And you can smell, and you can see that there looks like some probably some dandelion leaves or other type embitterants in there to kind of, you know, you got to have the right things in there. Various herbs and spices floating in the top there. It has a little bit of a little spicy kick to it, but it looks perfectly Thunnock sized. And it actually reminds you of soups that you've had when you were a kid.
Oh.
This is something that you remember. It's like, oh, like not necessarily the exact. It's not an exact replica, but it's definitely like, oh, it's very hearty, very of the land, of the terroir, earthy.
earthy.
Yeah, it actually does actually have a bit of almost an earthy scent to it. Like one
What
that.
he's saying is that it tastes like dirt.
Well, I mean, Eno and Drenmai, as this bowl comes out, it does smell with a hint of wet sand, wet dirt, like after the rain. And there's well, no, it's like there's almost like this when if it's like outside and right after the rain, there's everything's kind of stirred up and wet dirt has a specific aroma profile. And I'm not sure if Drenmai and Eno would be into it that much, but Thunnock, this is just like your mouth is watering. This is like almost
soul food.
This is like almost to the point of like when you show like a biscuit to a Saint Bernard, it's just like I want that.
I would like this biscuit.
Deep in your very being, you know you want to become one with this soup.
Is this a well, okay? I'll delve into that later. But assuming this, he has not brought a spoon of sufficient size, Thunuk breaks out the ladle that he has repurposed as a spoon. And does
the
that
spoon.
sort of thing.
The spoon is like minuscule compared to this bowl, and as
for
it's
an actual spoon.
But well, for a normal person, like this would be for Eno, a soup spoon. For Drenmai, the spoon would barely fit in her mouth, right? Because
Well, I was picturing I could more wear it as a hat.
possibly, but no.
Well,
But
I
I'm saying
think-
no. This is the spoon that came with it. This is like a normal size soup spoon, right? But, well, no, like Drenmai could probably use it for like armor, right? But right as Sahir puts it down, the spoon, because the bowl is so big and the spoon is not, the spoon just slips in. It's like, okay, well, the spoon's gone. It's in the bottom of this soup now. So you have your ladle, your repurposed ladle.
And because he went out of his way to get this made, so things being extra fancy, so he's pinkies up, putting a little bit on there, doing little slurpy sounds, things he thinks you're supposed to do when you're eating in polite company, but he's also being really messy and noisy.
Because he's being like, really, it's
Yeah.
Well, in several cultures, this is termed as a sign of respect.
It is. But there's also going overboard. Which
This is true. This is true.
Super going overboard.
There's
he
regions
sounds like
of
a
acceptability.
Wetback. He sounds like a wetback that
no.
is not picking his stuff up correctly. Like there's like an airlock in the pipe somewhere along the line.
No, like I do not like.
And he's trying to not just go, as you described it, Saint Bernard on it. And he's taking a couple of bites and he's like, "This is really tasty. Thank you. Would either of you like to try some?"
From the same bowl that I have been slurping over.
Well, he's using a
I know.
spoon, but
so, some of it still might be falling back in.
But he's like putting it in his mouth and then into the soup and then into his mouth.
And he's like, I can go fishing for. I think the spoon is still in there. I can get it out. He starts like moving the ladle around, trying to find it.
Dexterity check.
I hate you. I don't really. I'm just saying that because you're striking some very particular chords.
Kind of part of the goal there. Maybe not. So that was a 3.
You're not able to get the spoon out.
Okay.
Instead, you eat the spoon.
The spoon is consumed.
It wouldn't. You think it's a bone. You just fucking chomp down, and that spoon is gone.
That seems honestly, that seems completely reasonable. He'd probably spoon of that size. He'd probably think, "Oh, chicken bone got in there or something."
It sounds like sounds like a spoon when you drop it into the garbage disposal. No, just.
But slower because he's chewing on it very, very thoroughly.
But
this is a tough bone.
Drenmai, the offer has been made to partake of Thunuk's soup.
No.
I definitely, because it kind of like there's definitely a smell in there that reminds me of the Underdark.
Oh, this is true. Yes.
Hot mud.
So yeah, like I'm like,
no, what? No.
So I go, may I?
Of course.
And I take the regular spoon, and I give it a whiff, and I smile and I take a couple of drinks of it. So what am I getting?
So you're getting the mushroom.
Okay.
You're getting some spice. You're getting potato. There is definitely an earthiness to it. You're not sure what's driving that flavor because it is not gritty like, oh, dirt was mixed into this. But there's definitely a almost like at the back of the throat as you're breathing out. There's like this, you can, as you do that, you've probably had like food. Cheese is really good for that, right? You have the cheese, then as you breathe out, there's almost like a secondary or sometimes even tertiary flavor that can come out. Almost cheese rindy a little bit.
Is it hot or
it is
spicy
hot.
wise?
It is right at the right level of spice.
Okay.
Like Thunuk can handle some spice. Eno can handle some spice. Drenmai can handle spice. I mean, everyone can handle spice. But it's not. It's that spicy without it being overpowering, where you can still taste it and you're not tasting pain. You're actually having something.
Pain flavored.
So okay, sip, sip, sip. Back to Hugon now.
Okay.
She mentions the whole part about you being one of them obviator types. And she yeah.
It would appear that you have more than a passing familiarity with the Acquisitions Incorporated Guild.
Well,
Guild company.
I got a cousin who had some. Well, let's just say he had some dealings with your boss. Didn't go as well as he thought it was. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be right honest with you, he's kind of an ass.
Well, my boss is? Yeah, no
Well,
doubt.
no, he has, but so is my cousin, and you put
Oh,
you put egos and assholes in the same room together, and things ain't gonna turn out good for nobody. And that's kind of what happened to my cousin, and he kind of took it personal like when I told him he shouldn't have. Business is business after all, but such as it is, they find themselves at an impasse now. But I'm in passing familiarity with Acquisitions Incorporated.
What do you do around here?
Well, officially, I am in charge of I am the guild master for the logging guild.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I haven't properly introduced myself. Where are my manners? My name is Mursk.
Mursk, nice to meet you. Hugon Valander.
Oh, Mr. Hugon, it is delightful to make your acquaintance.
The feeling is mutual. So, Marisk, tell me. I trust things have been on the upswing out here.
Things have dramatically improved, I would have to say. I think that you and your friends might have had something to do with that. I get the impression. You and the big fella over there, and the other one, the one with the one that looks like he's been out in the sun a little too long.
It's true. I have exerted what little influence I have and tried to make plain the order of operations, if you will, of how things ought to be run in El Boulder. I am pleased to see that things have opened up. That
It's coming around. It's going to take a little
parties, while. Yeah, certain parties no longer being in control. It seems that El Boulder is improved quite a bit.
Well, it dramatically has improved. I mean, it's going to take a minute to get things back to where they need to be. It's, got to build up trade again. People started going elsewhere for their lumber and...
Sure.
But in the meantime, we're making ends meet. We're trying our best to get things back up and right again. Trying to get some more younger folk to join us here.
Absolutely. If I can switch to business for a second.
She just tilts her head at you. And... Again, never point has she made eye contact. I mean, she's like just sort of.
No. It's not a disrespectful lack of eye contact.
Yeah.
It's more of a like, listen, I recognize you and I see you, but I have other things happening in front of me. I noticed that the town lacks a centralized figure. And I'm curious to know how that's working out for business. Would you say that that's an improvement over the previous situation or a detriment?
I'd say it's a touch of both. We have the ability just to do what we need to do without having to worry about all the bureaucracy. But there are a lot of egos, to be sure. And it takes a little bit of managing.
Yeah,
and
I can imagine.
That's a skill. You gotta learn. You gotta know how to manage people, and that's just where we're at right now.
Somebody who can read a crowd, I feel like, would be very useful here.
Read a crowd, exert influence, get the things done that need to get done.
And at the same time, too heavy a hand would limit profits.
Absolutely, you gotta have the right you got to have the right feeling for it. Do a quick perception check for me.
Oh, wow, that's not a good roll at all. 12. No es bueno.
There's something familiar about the earrings. You're not quite sure what it is. It just might be that maybe you've seen them before, but there's something about the earrings.
Something about the arrangement.
Thunuk and Eno. Drenmai, you've just been watching them eat the soup.
Yeah, normally I like earthy stuff, but that one's a little too close to mud probably for Dren's liking.
I need a constitution check from Eno and from Thunuk.
Oh boy. Saving throw or regular check?
Check.
Constitution saving throw or just a contract?
Just a check.
All right. Well, either way. That's going to be 6.
6? Okay.
Sorry.
The die was spinning on the 20 and then hit a bump and then flipped to 2 and now it's a 4.
Okay.
Oh, you poor boy.
It was on a slick surface just going, woo! I'm like,
Poor
oh, it's going to be a 20.
Yep. No, believe me.
Oh,
I
this
know.
is wonderful. This turned out exactly as I hoped it would.
Wonderful.
So
I'm so glad, but we could be accommodating.
I am too. I am very too. I am extraordinarily happy about this. So, Eno, you feel a warmness flow over you and seep into you, and you start to notice that you can hear colors and see sounds.
What the fuck?
Someone did not discriminate as to which mushrooms to put into the soup.
And Thunuk, and this is a
You
legit.
see Satan, the red and leaping devil himself.
No. This
I'm sorry.
I legit rolled the number on my D4 here to determine the effect.
Oh.
And Thunuk, you're having a very difficult time modulating the sound and volume of your voice.
I can't even talk on the same level. I'm just going to sit here. Hello.
I am having controlling my emotions.
So I'd like to imagine that so Eno has turned to Alexi and Savant and said, "Hey, you want to try some of the soup?
He sounds like he sounds like an Eagles fan.
You don't sound very good right now. Are you all right?
And then I'm just like looking around. I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
You don't look so good. You should probably have some more soup. It'll do well for you.
Whoa.
I find some pieces of bread and shove it in my ears.
Can you do that? That was like a rainbow. Can you do that again, Thunuk?
Do what?
Yeah.
And Eno turns to the bartender and says, "Hey, do you know who would be in charge of buying and selling property around here?"
Oh yeah, that's right. We're here to look into something.
But he's like looking around, like at all the colors.
Drenmai, what's your
The whole
reaction
time.
to this?
There's a certain level of chaos that's going on right now that doesn't normally happen that I'm pleasantly just kind of enjoying.
And she's
Like,
not responsible
Hugon's
for
not
that.
around to fucking hate on it.
Dance,
Pretty
my
much.
puppet, dance.
She's
Like
not-
other than how loud Thunuk is, but I've tempered it with the bread in the ears. I'm doing okay.
And Alexi turns to you and he's like, "Are they always like this?
No, that's the greatest part.
Should we be worried?"
Why don't you try the soup?
Oh wow.
Persuasion
Soup
check.
is really good.
You ass.
Persuasion check.
Please imbibe on this
persuade
hallucinogenic
him.
property. Persuade the weaponized construct person
I know.
to imbibe in a mind-altering substance. Fantastic!
Some 18 on the die.
Oh, god damn it.
I think I better try the soup. Maybe that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Tell me if there's anything wrong with it.
Boom. Slurp. And he slurps
What
it.
a nuisance you are.
I know, it's so great.
What a nuisance, young Dren.
Back to Hugon Velander.
Yeah.
So where did we leave that? That was
Essentially, we're discussing the power structure.
Yes.
in
Oh yeah, that's right.
Elder.
Okay, how to manage people, how to balance it.
What? And just we're spitballing, right? Nothing official. This is not guild related.
Oh, honey, this
You
is
know how it
completely
is.
off the record.
This is off the record. Right. It is in my interest to have a firm thumb on Elbolder. Not a restricting grasp, more of a make sure that the profits are flowing. Right? We want to make sure that the lumber mills are full. We want to make sure that the caravans are filled with wealth moving to and fro. We want to make Elbolder,
Well, hopefully more to than fro.
well, of course. What I'm saying is I want to make sure that Elbolder is getting its cut, right? And I think that that's something that we can both agree on is a good thing. The more people that are enriched, the fewer enemies you've got.
There is a certain truth to that philosophy. Let's get a persuasion check real quick. Let's see how.
Sure. That's a 16 on the die, and my charisma is like a 1 or something like that. So it's like a 17.
17. Okay.
I'm not super great at persuasion.
No, she's nodding along there. She goes,
She's feeling it. She's feeling it.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah, smell what you're stepping in. I'm not interested in restrictive measures. What I'm most interested in is the prevention of malicious intents, right? Prior to this burst of growth, if you will, you would note that the red bands were in control.
Oh, Lordy, I knew. Believe me.
Right. Now, I am aligned against such ideologies. They are stupid, and they are harmful. And I do not take part in them. What I intend to prevent is the resurgence of such things. A lacking of a central figure here is problematic in that regard.
Well, who do you recommend then?
Well, I have two options in front of me at this very moment. I have an individual who I know to be exceptional at wielding the power of public opinion, like a sword or a scalpel. What I need you to understand is that he's a member of the guild.
And which guild is that, honey? You
Mine,
have to be more specific.
Acquisitions Incorporated.
All right, then.
The other is such an individual who would be naturally at odds with such a resurgence of foolish and harmful beliefs, whose very existence as a figure of authority would set those powers against them, whose occupying a place of power would make many enemies and perhaps more than a few friends. I know I'm being vague, but you have to understand that these unofficial conversations can't terribly get into specifics.
No, honey, I understand completely what's going on here. think I'm getting the gist of what it is you're trying to propose here. I don't have any say in the matter, but I'm not sure what you'd be looking for from me. Hold that thought. Back to the tavern.
Consider it held.
Back to the tavern. So here we have a Thonic Gentle Trunk. We have Eno hallucinating. How is this playing out? We got Drenmai just taking it all in. You've got Sahar, who is in a cold... Or not Sahar.
Savat.
What is
Loren.
Savat doing at the moment?
She's kind of got like this... oh my god, is this normal? Is this what's going on here? Oh my god, I don't understand.
I see
Why
the
did
devil! I see him!
You got that. You've got Alexi, who he too cannot modulate the volume of his voice. Why is everyone being so loud all the time? And what are we looking at over here?
How far is Savat from me?
She's like, somehow she has found a way to cower behind you. Despite the fact she's still standing, she has found a way. She's like behind you and like nervously looking at all the group here, like not sure what to make of this nonsense. Because this was not, she has said repeatedly, this was not included in the orientation materials.
Yeah, no, I'm quite enjoying this. I'm gonna ladle a bit of Thanook's soup into my own dish, and then I'm gonna do like that pretend to eat thing, and then I'm gonna slide it back to Savat and be like, "Here, this will calm you down."
No, don't do. What the fuck? Why?
Now
Why
we have
would you do
seen
this?
2 of 4 sides of this die.
Chaotic.
God damn it!
What?
It
can
sounds
we
like a
say
D4 being rolled.
Except you're welcome.
I'm so glad that I am not around. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that Hugon is unavailable at this moment. That he's actually committing business
Oh, just wait till he comes back.
rather than this fuckery.
Knitting business.
Drenmai, I'm really upset that people may not like me, and that's why I'm trying to be nice to everyone, and that's why I'm trying to write everything down, because I really want everyone to like me so very much, and oh my god, and I didn't actually pass all of my exams. I really had to get in because only my dad knows who Omendron is, and he was able to get me in, and oh my god, I can't believe I got out of here, and I really wanted the assignment, but no one else really wanted the assignment, and I just think it's because no one in my class actually liked me, and...
That's okay. You know, we all have our shortcomings. It's fine.
You're really short, and sometimes that makes me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Nah. Just wait.
And he's really tall, and sometimes that makes me uncomfortable, too.
Which he is your Thanook?
Yeah, the big one over there. He kind of scares me a little bit. Oh my god.
Nah. He's fine. He's the least of your worries.
Put your headphones back on just in time.
No,
for
they're
Tony
on.
to keep talking.
Wait.
Wait.
And she gets like right up to Drenmai, and she actually like wanders up to Eno and just like, I accidentally farted at a family dinner once, but I blamed the family dog.
Everybody does that. And then he starts playing a song.
Most dogs don't like that.
This is like a
Everybody
Grateful
does that.
Dead concert happening in
And
this
then
fucking bar right
Lexi
now.
just says, I can't believe it, you did that. You actually farted, and you blamed the family dog. Why would you do that? No, everyone does not do that. That is rude.
So I cast Minor Illusion, and there's like sparks every so often while I'm playing the song. There's little bursts of sparks.
And they all sound
the
like
air.
a chorus of fairies singing
Yeah.
your praises.
and then I turn to the bartender and says, "So about that real estate, I'm interested in buying some property, and I just want to know who to talk to."
Hugon, we're Hugon, so you had asked her, or she had asked you how she could, what you were looking for from this particular arrangement.
Honestly, I'm looking for a smooth business process, one that is both easily managed and one that is profitable. I'm not interested in too many regulations. My concern is largely, are we keeping the trade flowing and are we keeping, the pockets lined, so to speak?
So what you're looking for is social lubricant, in a way.
Perhaps.
Keep everybody happy. Keep everybody tidy and neat. So that way, things go the way they're supposed to go.
Right. And of course, there's the noted need for efficiency. There's the noted need for a lack of bureaucratic red tape. Say, certain individuals with which we are both acquainted, whose foolish ideology is reprehensible to both of us. And say they get it in their heads to cause problems for our profitable ventures and our efficiency and, harming the bottom line and keeping pockets from being lined. Well, such individuals and such organizations would need to be aggressively dissuaded.
And there's like a hint of a grin, like a one-sided, lopsided grin. And oh, Sugar, I think you and I are talking the same language.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Now, the question is my second individual going to want to be in charge of such a thing? Or would they prefer to be on the outside with fewer restrictions?
DM asking the question, which second person?
The goblin, Maersk.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay. She says, well, a lighter touch is always best, I find. Usually much better just to let things unfold as they need to unfold with minimal interference.
Certainly. And I'm comfortable either way. Now, one thing that you ought to be aware of is my guild member has not necessarily been made aware of his candidacy. He may say no.
Well, if he's the right person for the job, perhaps he just needs to be persuaded.
Certainly. And in any case, in our multifaceted and oftentimes chaotic role, such an individual would likely be absentee most of the time. And I trust that that's something that could be managed here on site.
Certainly. I'm sure we could find a way to manage if said individual was unable to attend to all their daily duties. I'm sure we could find a way to make that work.
Of course.
So, Sahir is looking at you kind of oddly. And he's looking over at Thunuk kind of oddly. Says, you're looking to purchase real estate? Or are you looking... I don't have real estate to sell.
Well, we were interested in, the price of property in the area. I'm doing some research.
Like in town here, or are you looking more?
Just, in general, in the area.
And as this is happening, like, you're seeing the sounds of your mouth, and they're like just rainbows and colors and fish and birds.
Yeah, the whole time I'm talking to him, I'm like, look, I'm not really looking at him. I'm like, yeah, we're curious.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like just trying to figure out how to modulate. Oh, look, I could do green. And he says, well, I mean, I heard that some of the lands are being auctioned off right now to pay off some debts from one of the lords. Something happened to him. Not sure what happened, but one of the local lords kind of was buying it up, and he's they're auctioning it off now because he's got some debts. He hasn't been seen in a minute, but you know,
Who's got the debts?
Well, confidentially, yeah, I've heard it's a combination. I've heard some of the Zentarum are buying up some of the debts, and I've heard just a rumor, that Miss Marisk, the guildmaster, might have been buying up some of those debts too. That's just a rumor, though.
Oh,
But you shouldn't tell anyone that.
I won't. I'll tell anybody.
Does Thunuk hear any of this?
Sure, Thunuk hears that. Thunuk has very good hearing.
Eno!
And Eno goes like that to Thunuk, just like that.
You know, I was just like, I'm going to be very quiet. What's a Zentarum? He nods and he has his finger over his mouth.
Someone's like trying out for opera. What's a Zentarum?
Zentarum. Do you know where we can find this Marisk?
He says, well, she has the guild halls down the road, across the street, down the road a few blocks. I try to keep an eye on her. I'm going to make sure she's not taking up too much. We don't want to make sure she's doing some good work, but I get a little worried sometimes. She's taking on a little too much. I'm just trying to make sure that we're keeping everything equitable for everyone. So, is Dreadmine just sitting there like I really can't, because I really am not like, is she just enjoying this? Like, what is her?
Oh, I'm sitting back enjoying whatever kind of chaos is going on, and then if I see a lack of it, I just kind of like poke the bear kind of thing, and like, you know, like, oh yeah, have some more soup, or I make I'll do like cast color spray or something.
And every time she does that, I'm just like, whoa.
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
No, this is no.
Dancing,
Listen.
Dancing lights being cast, or I can press the digitate maybe some like little figures like dancing on the bark or like.
You are the
countertop or
worst person to have on an acid trip.
Pretty much.
Or best.
No, worst.
Or best.
No.
Or best.
No.
Egon's not around, so I'm like, yay, fuckery's gonna
Yeah, you're not
happen.
there.
No. I'm not saying stop. No. I'm not indicating that you should stop because of some outside authority. No, certainly not. I'm merely suggesting that Dren's insistence on aggravating the situation is perhaps a
Hashtag
shitty
not
thing
helping.
to do.
So Enos, so Sahara is the name of the bartender?
Yes.
Okay, now I didn't get that before. That's
Yes,
why I
that
thought
is
you
his
were
name.
talking to Savat.
And do a perception check real quick.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, Thonic, Savat Loren comes up to you and she goes, you know what? You are very tall and you're sometimes kind of scary. And right now you're talking very, very loudly. And I don't always like your cooking.
All right, I juiced it with Bardic Inspiration, so it ends up being a 13.
There is little doubt in your mind that there is familial relation between Sahir, the bartender here, and Sahar, the bartender of the Silvered Harrier.
I'm getting that they're related. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So
virtually identical.
yeah. So I turned to Sahar and I was like, "Have you ever heard of Azerbaijan?"
Yeah, he's the brewmaster in Pinedale. God forbid they send us any beer.
Listen, when I get back to Pinedale, I'll talk to him for you.
That would be very nice.
We'll get you some good beer in here, because I can't come in. This is if this is going to be my second church, I can't come in here and have this. This can't be happening.
The offering is not appropriate, is it?
I mean you've got excellent fare. Let's fare.
But like sometimes I'm really sorry, but sometimes you really smell like dirt.
And this doesn't pair well with it. It just doesn't pair well with it. Like it's not. I'm not dying here. I'm not dying of thirst. But you know.
I think they're all watching us right now, my friend. Oh my God! Why don't you have a tail?
I don't need one.
Little pink elephant starts walking across the table.
Oh, look at that! Check it out. And like I make little sparks. Like every time the elephant steps, little sparks come out. Spark. And then I like all the candles in the room get like a little bit brighter, and then like a little bit dimmer, and then like a little bit brighter, and a little
And
bit
it's like
dimmer.
it sounds like a crowd clapping louder, then clapping softer, then clapping louder, then clapping softer. Clap louder.
Just invented clap on, clap off candlelight.
Yeah.
Wait, where's Hugon in relation to where we are?
Across the street, about 2.5 blocks down.
Far away and cannot hear or see any of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he see the windows of this place like lighting on?
Nope, he's doing his job, and
Well, it's the middle of the day too, so it's kind of hard
so
to
are
see.
we. We're doing our job.
No, you aren't.
Yes, we are. You're not there.
You're not there.
You're not my dad.
Yeah, for real. But it's okay. Listen, he's not there.
He's not
There's no
there.
crime if no one can observe it.
It's not- just listen. Is it a crime to be awesome? Because then we're all guilty.
You're gonna leave me to cause shenanigans. It's gonna happen.
Sometimes I have to set aside my observance of Dren and her bullshit to actually do work, right?
Hey,
And I'll
Dren-
take these brief periods where you are allowed to operate unfettered for the potential gain that I can have on the
Oh,
other side of town.
Has it been an hour yet?
Not just yet. Why? What is it you're looking to
Okay.
do?
No, I mean I was gonna go back to Darsh.
Darsh. Well,
And get that letter from him.
to be fair, it might have been an hour.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well, I mean, like it seems like it's been an hour to Eno because he's had this soup and everything.
Mhm.
So he turns to Dren and he's like, "Hey, shouldn't we check on that on your friend and then go? Well, maybe we can go find Maersk, talk to her."
Absolutely. Why don't you call
All right.
Hugon so he can meet us over there?
And then so he like as soon as you say that he's like, "Hey, Hugon, we're gonna meet you over at Maersk's."
Does he instead operate his armor?
No, this time he actually presses the right button.
The one time!
Yeah, because like he sees like the colors are different; they're switched.
That's right, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, so like he's
But now
like,
he can hear them because the one's going armor, 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 and one's like communicate, communicate, communicate.
yeah, and he does that, and he says it, and then he braces himself, and then nothing happens, and then he realizes he's already wearing his armor.
Right,
he's like,
of
"Oh."
course. Of course.
But as you turn it on, like you hear like all and like as Eno's community, you hear like this chaos in the background. You hear Thunuk shouting
Whatever.
whatever.
Thunuk, shout something, goddammit. And contribute to the scene. You're muted, hun.
No, or is he talking very quietly?
Okay.
No, that was on purpose because I didn't want to shout directly into the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, certainly not. No,
yeah.
certainly not.
My compliments to the chef. That was a bit loud. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's good.
That's
It's
fine.
fine.
Perfect. When you do that, it's like, whoa.
And Drin has nothing to say, I suspect, because
I'm just giggling and I'm smiling.
Oh,
I'm going to ask when they start to leave. I want to ask the whoever's there
Mhm.
that's serving, be like, "What was in the soup?"
Okay,
Don't-
we're gonna
don't
we're gonna
don't
come back
tell
to
her.
that. We're gonna come back to
Don't
that.
tell her. I
So-
beg of you. I beg. Don't
Hear my prayers.
hear my prayer.
Stay with me here. Lord Almighty, do not tell her what was in the soup.
I mean, please, no.
Hear me, people. So
If this is the one prayer that you hear.
Eno and Thunuk, you go wandering out like two frat boys with Alexi and
Savat.
Savat. She's like now she's like clinging to you, Eno, because she's like,
Okay.
and she's saying, I mean, is it weird that I really want to touch your horns? I feel like that's weird.
No, go ahead. He never lets anybody touch his horns.
Right. He's in a chemically altered state.
But
Yeah.
and she's like,
Go ahead.
oh, okay, touch it. And it's,
It's like the weird grasp.
yeah.
Like doesn't know like how hard or how soft. Just like yeah.
And then, but it's like also like the hair. It's like, were you like born? And she starts asking like question after rapid fire question after rapid fire question. Were you born with these? Did they start? Were they full grown? Did they come in as nubbins, or did they come? Or so there were four of you. You, Thunuk, Savat, and Alexi are wandering down the street towards Maersk's or towards Darsh.
Yeah.
Darsh, and so you get
Darsh.
there and he's sitting there smoking his pipe. He goes, you have returned, and I see you had the soup.
We have that's the best soup I've ever had. It's great soup.
I am seeing that. It looks like all four of you have partaken of the soup.
So, have you had the soup? It's so good. It's so good.
You shall also have the soup.
The soup
It
is
was very
good.
tasty.
Sorry.
And he goes, well, are you here to conclude our business? Temporarily. I mean, it is open-ended, but for this one particular step.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had the letter ready.
Oh, if I have the letter ready. And he reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls it out. And as he pulls it out, it makes a crinkling noise just because paper, it's very crisp paper. But that crinkling noise, you're able to hear it and you're able to see it. And as it comes out, it's the sound. You're seeing trails,
Yeah.
and from the sound, and those trails lead to an endless sea. As he hands you this letter.
So I reach out, like very tentatively, but like I reach out and I try. Like I think I'm gonna touch the letter. Like I think I'm reaching out far enough.
Just will it, my friend. Just will yourself to grab the letter, and you will be able to grab the letter.
And I grab the letter from him.
Yeah.
And I gently pull it.
And you're like, yeah, very.
Yeah.
and then Savat's like she's now like hanging on your one shoulder, like the one hand's like absentmindedly like petting the one horn, but she's like enthralled by the letter now.
No.
And
No.
I start going like that.
And then Alexi's like, "You never let me touch your horns. I thought we were friends."
You never asked.
That's true. I never did ask, did I? I probably should have asked. Oh, I'm so sorry I yelled at you. I'm so sorry I yelled at you.
It's okay.
God, this is like the fucking worst college drunk experience ever.
Still waving the.
Ugh.
Hey, Thunic, did you get any of that soup to go?
No, I finished it.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he
That
puts
was
the
very
letter
good.
into his journal and closes the journal and puts the journal in his bag.
Okay.
He says, "Who's this supposed to go to? In Waterdeep? I should probably know where I'm supposed to deliver it."
Once you have entered the city, its addressee will reveal itself. Trust me.
Oh,
It is best as of
okay.
right now that you do not know, for not just because of the soup, but
Low key.
exactly.
Yeah.
I knew.
These are
I,
not acceptable
I
arrangements.
knew I spoke with the right person. I knew.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
So Hugon, as
You're
you're
not
having, but Hugon, as you're
I know. I'm just. You feel a presence.
No, I don't.
From far away of saying like.
I don't feel anything,
"No,
man.
No.
No.
You're not there.
You feel a no from far away. But
But-
yes, you were saying, Brian.
As you're having your conversation, you're concluding your conversation with Maersk, you are able to hear Thunic yelling, "I finished the soup," because let's face it, a yelling Firbolg is going to have. There's a lot of space within the rib cage, within the internal cavity there for resonance.
Right.
You actually might have heard it. You're not sure, but it might have been that when you heard that, it sounded almost like a foghorn going off, and you're sure you're not sure, but maybe just maybe one of the panes or two of the panes of glass in the window might have vibrated a little bit. Yeah.
And like, from his position with Maersk, can he see Darsh and the nonsense that's happening over there?
No. You probably saw Thunic and Eno and Alexi and Savat leave the tavern, but they go down a different block. And
did I get any sense whatsoever of their level of inebriation?
perception check.
Okay. Rolling. It's a 13 on the die, so 19. Or, I'm sorry, 16. 16.
You're not sure. You think it might be somewhere between it being like Little Friday or it being like full on 2:00 Saturday night.
Right.
Somewhere in between there. I mean, it's a fairly big range.
Oh. And so, like, being slightly embarrassed because he's pretty sure that Maersk has noticed. And
She just
he's like,
says, "Sounds like your friends might have had the soup."
sounds like my business associates don't know how to control themselves.
I'm gonna tell you to take it easy on them, 'cause that soup packs a wallop. And that's me talking to you about this.
Fair
So
enough.
it's not always just... And there's not many people that can hold their soup.
Right. Of
It's a
course.
thing. So yeah, you might want to find a little softness in your heart on this one. I know business associates can be troublesome, but you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar.
Do I hear him say what the soup type was?
So as we go back to this, Sahar says, "Well, I can... Not sure they should have it again. But
I
I can...
wasn't necessarily thinking of for them.
Like personal use? I gotcha. Okay. I will introduce you to the cook on one condition.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that my sister uses it. You have to make sure my sister has it.
Do I know her sister?
Yes, you do know his sister.
Okay.
You know that his sister is Sahir, the innkeep at the Silver Harrier.
Okay.
And he goes, I'll introduce you to
Sahir or Sahar?
Sahar is the bartender here. Sahir is the bartender here. Sahar is the bartender there. That's how I'm going to remember it for right now. But anyway.
I was hoping it'd go that way.
Sahar over there.
Over there. And so he's like, well, why don't I introduce you to the cook?
Okay.
So he takes you into the back. And in the back, in this extraordinarily tight kitchen, very, very small, which is now made to seem even smaller by an approximately 10-foot tall Firbolg
Yay.
conducting the cooking.
Oh, it's a Firbolg cooking. It's not Thunuk.
Firbolg cooking.
Oh no!
And give me a perception check.
Okay.
Oh no!
I already have my
Motherfucker's
notes
spider legs, probably.
pulled up.
God damn it!
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
14.
Looks oddly like Thunuk.
Oh God.
I wonder if a lot of I
Hmm.
imagine in my travels I've seen other
Mhm.
Firbolgs, maybe not many,
Mhm.
but do I get that sense of like, do all Firbolgs look the same to me, or can I differentiate the differences?
You can differentiate the differences. Not all Firbolg
Okay,
look
cool.
alike.
Hey,
We all look like kneecaps.
exactly. You gotta
Everyone
make
looks
sure.
But these
sometimes.
kneecaps look like specifically like gentle trunk
Okay.
kneecaps.
Okay.
And that is where we are going to end
Damn it
this
already.
week's game.
Damn it!
Yes.
I pulled up my notes to write down the ingredients for trippy soup.
Yeah, no, you don't get to have them. No.
Um,
I categorical rebuke on this endeavor of yours. You do not get to have hallucinogenic soup.
That's exactly why she has to have them.
well,
No, listen. No.
this is a debate.
No.
This is a debate that we can continue when we play again. But what we need to do right now is take a brief break. Then we will come back and discuss
Okay.
old business and new business. Decide if there's any employees of note, employees of the week, or anything like that. And then we shall go on from there. But we will take the absolute briefest of breaks right now. So stay
In
tight
this moment.
in this moment.
Right now.
Bye-bye.
Click the button.
And
Now.
bye. All right, we are back with
Oh, hi.
Table Talk.
Hi.
Hi. All right, let us figure out how we're going to discuss old business, which is, are there any employees of note this week? And we will start in quadrant 1, which is the Gentle Trunk. But now, Gentle Trunk no more, the Viking goat, Ivan Martino.
I like this Mirsk person that you can put together.
Oh.
And yeah. But as for employee of the
Week
Thank
of note.
you. Of note.
Of that unit of... Okay, no, it's the employee of the Thunnock.
Oh, yeah. Employee of the Thunnock.
Which is involved in 7 Thunnocks.
Seven sleep cycles of a Thunnock. I'm going to go with Drenmai and basically just tossing not a monkey wrench into the works, but the works into the monkey wrench. And egging everything on by tossing in some tossing in some extra
bullshit.
illusions. Yeah, magical bullshit.
I'm making that shirt, by the way.
What magical bullshit?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got it. I'm designing it right now.
Is it a steaming pile with like sparks of magic coming out of it, or
There
wands
is
sticking out of it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do the poo, but there's definitely it's gonna be
It's like an outhouse that's like been, like
bullshit.
eldritchly affected.
I need it in my life. I say it all the time.
Well, moving in the anti-clockwise direction, we would then move over to Miss Clues.
That's a tough one. I kind of want to give it to the cook that has just been mentioned. It's such a small thing, but he made for such a great adventure in Dren's life. It's like one of those memories where you hold on to and you don't know anything about this
Gets you through a rainy day.
Gets you through a rainy day. You can look back on it and be like, that was awesome. Yeah.
The memories.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Yvonne's not
memories.
here to tell me no, so I can basically do whatever. Oh yeah. The cook. I'm
cook.
going for the cook.
Okay. Raz.
Yeah, I gotta go with the cook.
The cook?
Yeah, that was the best soup I've ever had, man.
The cook, man. Gotta be able to hold your soup, man.
It's good soup.
Good soup. The blind cleric. The Gidris.
In terms of NPC employee of the week, I've got to go with Marisk.
Okay.
In terms of employee of the week for player characters, I got to go with Finnock
Oh, okay.
for his insistence of lack of volume control, because it was amazing, and I too have met and like been around individuals of that nature, particularly whilst altered. It's deeply amusing.
little toke, and then that volume slider is just
Yeah, it's just like, listen, Haas, you gotta inside voice
pinned.
this.
or it's pinned. Well, so just some of the notes that I put down. All right, so the starburst argument in the beginning, we're definitely going to get a clip of that. Talk about big boats. I think that we've developed a new unit of measurement for everything completely around how big Thunnock is or what his habits are. We got the cursed necklace when everyone's trying to touch the thing that you're not supposed to touch. We learned about asshole trees today. I think that's a these trees were dicks. That's why they were cut down.
They got what they deserved.
Got what they deserved. I have written down here light, but I'm not sure why I have light. Oh, it was when you were drawn away by your light. I think there was a moment there. I also have one where I made down about the 2-hour mark of WTF, so I'll have to go and look and see what that particular...
Oh, yeah, I said that a couple of times because of the Fomorian?
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah. That was
Fomorian.
a good, genuine, visceral reaction to seeing what a Fomorian was.
As opposed to a Formian.
Formian and
very different.
Fomorian. They're
Mhm.
very different creatures.
Very different. Very
which are
different
all very
creatures.
different from Flumps.
Yes,
We had the...
Yeah, I don't even know if Fomorians are still around. I'm gonna look into that.
probably.
I think there was just a little the quick interjection of my boots, with the beer being tossed over the shoulder. So thank you, Clues, for jumping in on that. That's always nice when we have these little background characters that jump in. I wasn't expecting the soup to go as well as it did, but I'm glad that it did.
Here we are.
Here we are. I definitely think there's some as far as role play, I have to give it to Thunic and Eno. There's a tie there for having the two high folks from the party who are just in the zone.
Absolutely.
But I think that we got to see a more interesting negotiation side to Hugon this time. Where it was negotiating, but it wasn't from, you're going to fucking do this. It was more like, nah, let's
Let's have a
just
conversation.
have a convo. And of course, there was just ever the fun. I was expecting once a little bit of chaos was interjected that Drenmai would pull the levers a little bit. So that's always fun. I was hoping that Drenmai was going to try the soup.
Oh
I
no!
and I was
Well,
hoping.
the thing about the soup is that how would we tell a difference in Drenmai?
Well, there was 4 different
Did
effects.
she suddenly become lawful?
Well, there was 4 different effects, and I toyed around with a 5th that I didn't put in there. I want to save that for another day because I think that might be fun. But the 4 were the voice modulation. What option was truth serum, which is what we saw from
Savat Loren.
Savat Loren. Thank you. There was the hear the colors, see the sounds. And then the 4th effect would have been you're completely reduced to the state of a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Emotionally, you're just you're like a 7-year-old. There's another one in there that I want to do, but I think I'm going to save that for another day because we're going to have some fun with that. But yeah, the soup. I think the soup might be the employee of the week, and thus by extension,
It's pretty
the
goddamn
cook.
good. It's pretty
So,
great.
I will say an honorable mention to the quick whipping up of Darsh Cantu.
Oh
Which-
yeah, tell me you want a character. I'll just come up with
Which,
some bullshit.
quite frankly, I think that Darsh Cantu has to have some kind of has to have some kind of cameo in just about any system that you can play because he sounds like also a Star Wars character.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of Star Wars lately, so there might have been
That
some...
might have flavored it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's gonna be some. It's gonna be fun trying to get all of these clips together, especially the soup clips, because I think we have to make a super clip, a super clip. Beat you to
I
it.
hate you. I hate
Beat you
you.
to it. As soon as I
love
said
you,
it,
but
as soon as I saw it, I saw Roz. He was like,
I'm so beleaguered.
But that's okay.
By
That
these
takes care of old business.
Thank you, JD Lady. Yes, he deserves jail.
Yes, I do deserve word jail.
He deserves jail and
I
a
do.
gulag of some sort.
A vocabulary gulag.
Some sort of fire hose adjacent.
The pungent is
Punishment.
claimed. Oh, that's right. We do have the pungent. I forgot.
Thank you,
forgot.
Nightbot. Nightbot coming through, putting you where you belong.
See, I'm not even on the stream, so I don't think I can even do it.
Damn it, Ross, you fucking villain. That's twice in a row. It's one at the beginning and one at the end.
I'm trying to remember how to do this. I probably don't know how to do this, so it's because I'm no good at this. I'm gonna see. Does that work? Yes, there we go. We put purple monkey robots into the pungent. That concludes old business. On to new business. Is there any new business?
Never let an Olympic style lifter convince you that you should be doing powerlifting as a workout routine.
Okay.
Why? That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's fun. It's just like if you're not used to doing it, it hurts
Well,
like
I
hell
mean,
later.
Go soft for a bit, learn your body's limits, and then go hard.
There's some muscles in there that just haven't.
You did not. You went straight Viking.
That's all I ever do.
Oh,
I have this area here and this area here. There's
you
no
have
in
two
between on the
speeds.
scale.
There's no and go.
It's the rabbit, which is basically why am I not going turtle? I'm sorry, vice versa. Why am I not going rabbit?
I too was young once.
I do have a question.
I know.
I do have a question for Yvonne. I don't know. I know that there's a Norwegian word for it, or maybe it's a Swedish word. I forget. But there is actually like a term for Little Friday that I learned from watching a video with
Mads Mikkelsen and that other guy.
Yeah, where they talked about how Little Friday is basically Thursday night. It's when you go out drinking on Thursday night, but then you can also have Little Thursday, which is basically going out drinking on Wednesday night. And I didn't know if there was an Icelandic
absolute laughter of that video. It was so fucking funny.
I don't know of any such thing, but that's
like I could not hold it in when they're like, "Do you ever wear shoes indoors?" And one of them is like, "Never," and the other one is like, "Always," and they got the same amount of points. And I was like, I can't handle
it. They were committed. They were both committed to those answers.
Oh, I was weeping in laughter. It was so good.
Any other new business? What else do we have on the new business front?
Unplugged, so close.
Unplugged.
It is very, very close.
Smells like
Is it weird that I'm already packed for it?
Nope.
No.
Really.
I wish I was.
I was looking at
my suitcase full.
My bags are packed. I'm ready to go.
We need to remind Yvonne to buy his goddamn
Buy your
ticket.
goddamn
Plane
plane
ticket.
ticket, Yvonne. Jesus, man.
Do so.
You have 6 days.
What? 6 days? No, I have more than
I'm
that.
just saying that because I want you to buy it like right now.
Oh no, I had originally
24
intended
hours.
on taking a train up, so I could bring.
Oh right, you live in this. Yeah.
It was
on the East
in
Coast.
and the Florida.
But it'll take almost 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a long
Fuck
trip.
that.
So
No,
I'm just
it's
gonna
not
bring,
worth it.
just not bringing any beer is all.
On
Yeah.
a train? Heavens.
You can check. If
Yeah,
you
put some
check
bombers
bag.
in a check bag.
I was going to check. I was going to bring what do you call it? The big ones?
Bombers?
The growlers.
No,
Growlers.
Growlers.
Those things.
I was going to bring 3 or 4 growlers, but I'm just not going to do it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Frown face.
I was looking at the game list, and just the names of the games that they have on the list are just like, oh, I want to play that. No, I want to play that. Oh, I want to play that. But then you realize
Yeah,
there's
there's
only
this
so many
really-
hours.
There's a really interesting like Helios conspiracy LARP happening
Wow.
that I'm curious about. We'll have to see. I don't know anything about it other than it's the Helios conspiracy LARP. So we'll learn as we go.
Oh, here it is. The tabletop. They actually have the tabletop library. I'm guessing this is like the checkout stuff.
Tabletop library is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they have it in there, and it's like
Such a good
This-
experience.
This is just the first page. They're ranking it, right? Terraforming Mars, Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization, Twilight Struggle, Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, Gaia Project, Scythe, Great Western Trail, War of the Rings,
Whoa,
2nd edition.
Scythe is in the tabletop library?
Yep.
Holy nuts.
Yep. Terra Mystica, Spirit Island, The Castles of Burgundy, Seven Wonders Duel, Concordia, Puerto Rico.
Oh,
Huh? I've never actually played Puerto Rico, but it's
I don't recall Puerto Rico being like very
So-
good.
is it resource management?
No,
Worker
I want to say that
placement?
there was a lot of like legitimate problems with it.
Like functionally?
Not functionally, just like
Oh.
what it was dealing with. I don't remember, but like from what I understand, Puerto Rico was like a game literally about colonization.
Yeah, it's strategy category, city building, economic, and farming. So it sounds a lot like Settlers of Catan. Action drafting, end game bonuses, follow, hidden
Yeah,
victory points, increase
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I may be confusing it with something else, but like I remember earlier this year hearing like some not awesome things about it. But I mean, again, I could be wrong. There's so many games out in the wild right now.
What else? A Feast for Odin. Caverna, the Cave Farmers. Agricola, Blood Rage, Wingspan, Power Grid, Mechs versus Minions. Shulkin, the Mayan calendar. Root, Azul. I know Azul. People were really loving Azul.
Oh, Azul's a lot of fun. I have that.
Le Havre, Clans of Caledonia, Android Netrunner, Seven Wonders, Race for the Galaxy, Keyflower, Lords of Waterdeep, Five Tribes, Clank, a deck building adventure. There's just
of course.
Battlestar Galactica, the board game.
Oh, that has a quorum deck.
That's interesting.
That's a Penny Arcade reference. If you all don't
I
know
do
that.
not know.
Okay,
sorry.
well, maybe I'm a nerd. So
No,
I'm
well,
sorry.
you are, but that's not a.
I gotta ask. I'm considering bringing Thornwatch, my Thornwatch game, to Unplugged. I haven't gotten to play anybody with it since I got it.
Oh. Well, I know
Mainly
they
because-
have copies there, but if it's specifically you want to play your version of it,
Well, it's more that I have everything.
Oh. Well, then
Like I have Thornwatch and Dark of the Wood, and I'm considering like dealing with the weight constraints and packing it, just taking it with me.
Well, I will tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed it when we played Thornwatch on Sunday.
We did.
Yvonne, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think you played. Yeah, you played with us, and then it was Neil, and I forget who else was. I
believe John was there with us.
Yeah,
He might have been.
and
He
we
might
played.
have been.
It was a lot of fun. Dude, I could see that being like a
What, when
balcony.
we played it?
Did we play? I don't. No, I
We
don't
played,
know.
well, no, Gideon came because your soup came late. Because I remember Mike
That's
was playing
right.
with
It was
us.
like a fucking hour and a half late. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and Mike
remember
was sat down with us.
Yeah, and I was drunk.
Oh, no, we
and
played
gushing
separate.
I
We
was
played
gushing
separately.
about the quality of the game to Mike and Mike.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know Scary Crazy Butter Knife was there. Yvonne
Mhm.
came late. Yeah.
And we also talked about Apocrypha, I think.
I think we're actually
Yes.
talking about two different occasions. I think
Mhm.
you're
Possibly.
talking about the first PAX Unplugged.
27.
Our
You're talking
minds
2017.
Are
And we're
completely
talking
inscrutable.
2018.
Yeah, because we played on Sunday night because I had to leave early to jet out to get set up, start setting up the food. I had to go get my buddy and all
That's
that.
right, you did.
But something we'll have to decide is what's going to be the balcony game. Because we had an excellent time on the Friday night when there wasn't any big nighttime events. There wasn't any big D&D games or anything. And we had an excellent time hanging up right outside where that food court is in the convention center on the second floor. And we were
playing Illimat.
playing
Yeah.
Illimat.
No,
and
I
it
can play
was
that forever.
and it was chill as hell, and it was awesome because it was
So
11
good.
o'clock
I'll
at
be
night.
bringing that.
Yeah,
We were shouting at each other and being rude. It was fantastic.
it was wonderful.
It was
So,
great. Good
what
times.
other games? Clues and Roz, are there any games that you're looking forward to playing, or is there anything specific at the Unplugged event aside from?
Oh.
From what?
you mentioned specifically on Pug, so I was like, yeah. Pokemon Sword and Shield just came out, so
Oh.
you know.
But you have to be plugged in for it.
Exactly.
Mm.
I have been playing an absolute crapload of Call of Duty,
Oh,
which is the first time in 10 years that I have done such a thing.
I would like to try like another RPG system or like look at other so maybe I'll try and find a table somewhere where people are playing something. I last year I did an Adventure League
Mm-hmm.
game, and that was sort of fun, but it was very time restrictive.
It's true.
So like
It's
we
true.
got to a fight at the end, and it was like we have 8 minutes left now, and so the fight was compressed into 8 minutes, and
Mhm.
it's just wasn't
Yeah,
that
the Roll Initiative does very good work in terms of how they manage their time, in terms of the Adventure League and whatever it is that they're running. But the time constraints can become kind of odious at times.
Mhm.
And, when you've got 400 or 500 people a day that you need to cycle through.
Especially with a game that's
Games.
generally takes hours to play.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. But your criticism of it is absolutely valid.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I don't dive into Adventure League or Pathfinder Society at conventions is the time constraints are not like criminal, but man, it's really hard to
Criminal.
work in as much, RP and combat, and it's just very difficult.
I'm looking to see if they have. Oh, can I search? I can. Do they have? No, they got that one. I've got that one. They have Forbidden Sky there.
Oh yeah.
I really want to play
Oh.
Forbidden Sky.
That's the one with the light up stuff, right?
I think so. It's in the same series as Forbidden Desert and Forbidden Island.
Yeah.
And we played Forbidden Desert. I brought my copy of that.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was fun.
amazing.
And I will be bringing that again. I also have the D&D card game that they released, the Dungeon something or other. I forget. It's a real easy game to play, but it's a lot of fun. It's up to 4 players. I'll be bringing up, but yeah, I'd love to play. I'm looking for some new stuff because we had a fun time playing Inferno last year. We played. Was that the firefighter game? That's Inferno, right?
I want to call it Backdraft, but that's not what it's called. It's something.
No, that was a really
that.
terrible movie.
I can't remember it now. But no, yeah, that's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, firefighter game. Wow, there's been a lot of firefighter games apparently.
It's a popular theme, I guess.
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yes.
Flashpoint.
That was a very good one. So, and I don't remember who's doing the keynote this year. I remember the very first year they had one of the folks from D&D doing the keynote. I forget. It might have been Crawford. No, was it Crawford?
No, it wasn't Crawford. He wasn't there.
No, it was the head of.
Year.
And it was it was someone from Wizards, and they actually gave. They were giving away a module called From Magic the Gathering, but with the D&D rules.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
at Ixalan.
The Ixalan.
It was Ixalan. Plane Shift to Ixalan.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
One of the best Dungeons and Dragons products that I've played in years.
That was
So
actually
good.
how we got into playing D&D together, all of us.
Yeah,
we were
because
going
we
to
wanted
play
to
that.
play it. We
That's
wanted
right.
to schedule a play in it, but we couldn't do it.
We just couldn't
Yeah.
get it together because that was
Man,
the
that
year.
was-
Because Clues was in a Meganaut.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So she
the
had all
first
that
year.
stuff, and all the other things. But the art in it is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm hoping that they have something similar to that this year.
Well, Plane Shift to Ixalan was just a seminal D&D product. One of the better products released in the last 20 years, in my opinion. So good.
Mm.
Writing was on point. Design was on point. World building on point. Just everything about that, even thin document,
Mm-hmm.
was just incredible.
Yeah, and it was free.
To
so
say
that makes it
nothing of
awesome.
the gorgeousness of the art.
Oh, the artwork is amazing there. So yeah. So we have that, and then of course there's food. So.
Of course, I've always got to account for the food.
Mm-hmm.
Roast pork and broccoli, Rob. Hell yeah.
Yes, from Denix.
Still haven't had it.
All right.
Yvonne, why do you
You're doing
continue to
that this year.
fail us?
Well, listen. Remind me again. So, we'll deal with all this off stream. Okay, we'll deal with all this. We're gonna make these plans, and I'm gonna figure out how to get all you guys fed the proper way, the Philadelphia way, and not the way where you see them where they're wrapping the cheesesteak in the pizza. Like, oh look, it's a Philadelphia burrito. No one fucking
not-
eats that way.
Listen, no, not touristy. Not touristy.
No.
True Philadelphia
So-
experience. And also Chinatown.
And Chinatown, yes, and ramen.
Ramen.
That'll be Friday's thing.
Friday's thing, ramen. Oh,
Yamatsubi.
I'm so looking forward to having you guys in town.
Tarakawa, please.
I am so looking forward to having you folks in town. So,
It's going to be great.
that said, is there any other new business that we need to attend to? Is there any other things of note? New She-Ra season came out.
Did it? Oh.
It
Yeah.
did. The new season of The Crown just came out this weekend, which is thoroughly enjoyable. We are less than a month away. Oh, it'll be when you get done with PAX is when they're doing the big CW crossover event for Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is actually looking pretty filled to the brim with fan service. There's
if you're in the area, buy your Child's Play charity auction tickets.
yes,
very much so.
do that.
Yes.
I will have a whole bunch of shit that's in the auctions.
Yes. Oh, Mandalorian. Yes. I unfortunately do not have Disney Plus. I'm trying to find another way to get to that because I really want to see the Mandalorian because I've heard
me after stream.
we're gonna talk to you after the stream because when Jerry described it as, hey, it's Firefly with Star Wars, Pitter Pat went my little heart.
Listen,
Yeah.
they have done an incredible job of really grounding the series.
Mm-hmm.
It does not feel to me to be like the original or the secondary set of movies,
Mm-hmm.
which are essentially high fantasy. This is a Western or a samurai film,
Oh,
like
that's
a Akira Kurosawa, set in the Star Wars universe, and it is extraordinary.
listen. You've got Jon Favreau at the helm there producing it, which is listen. Favreau is the reason why we have Marvel. If he hadn't made Iron Man and Iron Man hadn't been as good as it was, then we wouldn't have had.
Shout
that.
out to the casting director of all of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well,
well done.
Yeah, all that. You've got Pedro Pascal in it, who I love.
And like the thing about Pedro Pascal is he was a body language actor.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch The Mandalorian with no sound and no subtitles and get a pretty decent indication of what's going on.
I love him
That
as
is
an
the
actor.
quality that he's
He was
bringing.
amazing in Game of Thrones. He was amazing in Narcos. You got Carl Weathers, which Jesus Christ, Carl Weathers. You got Werner Herzog in it. Nick Nolte in it. Taika Waititi is it. I mean, Jesus. Gina Carano, Giancarlo Esposito. There's like nothing but.
I think maybe we should pause because sounds like the entire season's worth of cast.
Oh no, this was all in trailers. I haven't released anything in
okay.
trailers, so I haven't.
Nothing's been spoiled.
Yes.
Nothing has been spoiled.
Yes. Anyways, let's end the stream right here, folks. For our watchers right now, the people who are watching us, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching. It truly, it's. We don't do this for you. We do this for us, but we're glad you're along for the ride. No, we actually
It's
do
true.
appreciate having you here.
No, he's right. Don't let him lie to you.
That's all I do. It's my job.
A
So
storyteller is effectively a liar.
essentially, right? I'm just telling you I'm going to lie. So thank you all for very much watching. Podcast will be available on Wednesday. It'll be available on YouTube on Wednesday. Clips will be coming out shortly. And be cool to each other.
Bye. Eat more
Eat your
ice cream.
greens.
Bye bye.
Don't eat your greens. Eat more ice cream.